Logan. Where did you go? See, Logan returned to the room. Mariko immediately greeted him. That damn black Deadpool teleported me back. Did he really teleport you back to Ghana University? That's right, he does have this ability. I underestimated him. I'm no match against him at all. He was even hung up and beaten. Demonstrate the strength of Black Deadpool through dialogue. And Wolverine Logan's powerlessness. Let Mariko also be inexplicably afraid of Mubai. Rubber plus 10 by 2. Current rubber. 180. Crit, supersonic plus 10 by 2. Current supersonic. 40. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2. Current meteorite. 260. I didn't expect that Black Deadpool was really so amazing. I didn't believe the authenticity of the crazy video on the internet at all. Thought Magneto was sent out on purpose to make humans relax their vigilance. Otherwise, with Magneto's strength, how could he be easily killed? If you have seen how powerful Black Deadpool is, you won't think it's a fake video, but I didn't expect you to think that cool and invincible video with millions of comments and thousands of likes is fake video. Your words made Mariko frown. Logan doesn't seem to be able to say such words. I feel that you were a little different, but I didn't guess that you were a fake Logan. Rubber plus 10 by 2. Current rubber. 200. The rubber reaches 200. The second stage of the rubber body is activated. The body has the toughness and elasticity of rubber, and can be stretched and contracted at will, up to 10 meters long. Crit. Supersonic speed plus 10 by 2. Current supersonic speed. 60. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2. Current meteorite. 280. Logan, you don't have a fever, do you? Mariko put the back of her hand on Mubai's forehead. Did not notice any abnormalities in the body. How could something happen to me? You underestimate the healing ability. Logan, do you remember where we first met? Seeing Mariko is a little cautious, Mubai just smiled lightly. He directly probed Mariko's brain and got the answer in an instant. Under the cherry tree in front of your house, I asked you who was Mariko. Haha, you haven't forgotten, Logan. The two talked and laughed. But when she laughed, Mariko's expression suddenly became more serious. Logan, I remember you told me that you forgot. Logan forgot. What's the matter with me, Mubai? After speaking, Mubai returned to his real body. Terrified, Mariko stepped back. Heels hit the bed. The body fell backwards, but found the body hanging in the air. Don't worry, I'm just playing with you, I'm not a cuckold. Wade is just an exception, because at that time I really lacked a woman who could accompany me, and Wade and Vanessa also broke up. Where did you get Logan? Mariko didn't want to hear about Mubai's past. Just want Logan now. You want Logan, I'll give it to you. The two countries jumped repeatedly. Mubai put the frozen Logan in front of Mariko. See Logan frozen. Mariko was lying on the ice with panic on her face. This is Wolverine's new skin frozen warlord. Get Logan out of the ice quickly. Let him come out, but what can you give me? You. What do you want? Mariko was a little nervous when she said this. Kiss me on the cheek in front of Logan. What? Your words make the frozen god of war Logan rage. Making Mariko kiss in front of Logan is definitely tantamount to torturing Logan. Mariko is also unbelievable anyway, he is also the new leader of the X-Men who will be so cheap. Let yourself kiss the face in front of your boyfriend. Fortunately, it's a bit of a measure, but kissing the face and kissing the mouth would be even more excessive. Rubber plus 10 by 2. Current rubber. 220. Crit, supersonic plus 10 by 2. Current supersonic. 80. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2. Current meteorite. 300. Meteorite reaches 300. Activate the third stage of extraterrestrial meteorite. Mark any coordinate on the Earth, and then summon a meteorite with a diameter of 500 meters to attack on the ground, and the meteorite comes with your own fire attribute attack. If you don't agree, I have to leave. Don't delay me looking for the big girl Haruka Lingaze. I also want him to cosplay my Sakurajima. I have prepared the rabbit costume. Your words made Mariko blush. She seems to understand the meaning of the fan movie you said before. Logan, as a cross-generational person, doesn't know anything about fandom and doesn't watch movies or TV. He only knows how to use force to solve problems. Rubber plus 10 by 2. Current rubber. 240. Crit, supersonic speed plus 10 by 2. Current supersonic speed. 100. Supersonic speed reaches 100. Activate supersonic speed. Your speed rises again, reaching supersonic speed. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2. Current meteorite. 320. Supersonic speed plus rubber plus unlimited stamina plus regenerative healing factor. Brother is already invincible. You're sure I'll kiss you so you can let Logan out? Seeing that there was no way out, Mariko asked suddenly. It is useless to ask anyone for help with Mubai's strength. I can only continue to ask along the conditions just now. Brother keeps his word. Logan couldn't speak. But his eyes kept staring at Mubai fiercely. Also, she was winking at Mariko. But Mariko is going all out for Logan. With eyes closed, he kissed Mubai's right cheek. But the mouth felt cold. When he opened his eyes, he saw that he was kissing on the ice cube. Women who want to kiss my brother can line up the city wall for thousands of miles, but it's not like you can kiss if you want to. Mubai stood on the other side and laughed. Your words warmed the two of you. I thought you were a rude and arrogant guy relying on your strength. The actions just now made the two of them change their views. I didn't expect you to hide. Compared to persuasion with good words, a slap and a sweet date will make them accept you more. Rubber plus 10 by 2. Current rubber. 260. Crit, supersonic speed plus 10 by 2. Current supersonic speed, 120. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2. Current meteorite, 340. Make the most of tonight, because tomorrow Logan will be by my side. After speaking, Mubai disappeared in front of the two of them. And the ice on Logan's body melted instantly. Logan staggered and fell to the ground. The prolonged freezing had dulled his limbs. Logan, are you okay? Mariko quickly supported her. Hug Logan's body to keep him warm. It's okay, but that guy's strength is indeed terrifying. Logan never convinced anyone. Today I was completely overwhelmed by Mubai. At the moment it was more than 10 o'clock in the evening. Mubai by positioning. I found the apartment where Haruka Lingaze lived. Turn on stealth to sneak into the apartment. Brother is also the leader of the X-Men. Why do you feel a bit like a voyeur now? Conscience discovery. Self-judgment, but it's just lip service. After all, there won't be such a handsome voyeur as you. Have the strength to make everyone obey your arrangement, but you don't use it on anyone. Just because I feel that I lack the feeling of controlling others, like a marionette. It also seems to understand why Professor X doesn't use super ability to change the contradiction between humans and mutants. Rubber plus 10 by 2. Current rubber. 280. Crit, supersonic speed plus 10 by 2. Current supersonic speed, 140. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2. Current meteorite, 360. At this time, the door of the bathroom of Ling's Haruka's apartment was suddenly opened. Haruka Rios, with wet hair wrapped in a towel, came out. She wiped her head as she walked into the living room. Grab the remote and turn on the TV. Fill a silent room with sound. The movie, My Robot Girlfriend, starring Haruka Lingaze happened to be playing on TV. See the young self in the movie. Ling's Haruka even felt a little nostalgic. And Mubai was also a little dazed when he saw the real state of Ling Lai Haruka. Possesses impressive measurements that all girls envy. And the other places are not fat at all the meat grows in the right place. It is no loss that she has won the first place in the most wanted actress figure. Dry your hair while watching TV. Ling's Haruka then went to the locker to get pajamas. But as soon as he opened the closet door, he saw the bunny girl clothes prepared by Mubai. I don't remember buying a bunny girl dress? Ling Lai Haruka picked up the bunny girl's clothes and looked at it suspiciously. Sudden whim to wear on the body. Immediately after wearing it, go to the changing mirror to pose. This figure is perfect with this dress. And Mubai at the moment waited for the moment. Just let the duplication attack first. Nice figure. At the moment's duplication has alter self, and it turned into the appearance of Kato Tiger. Seeing Kato Torora suddenly appearing behind him, Lingaze Haruka covered her chest in surprise. You. Why are you at my house? Ling Leiyao hurriedly stepped back to create a distance of 5 meters. Kato Tiger walked towards her slowly with a smirk on his face. Ask me why I'm here? It's not because of your figure. Besides, I'm also a fan of yours. I was the first to think of you after I got the super ability yesterday. I don't know if you have seen the works I have acted in before. Kato Tora's smile made Lingaze Haruka's heart shudder. She is not at all happy about late-night visits from fans. This sentence scares Ling Seharuka into a fool. Kato Tiger's name has never been seen, at least he has heard of it. Clamping your legs for an instant feels bad. Rubber plus 10 by 2, current rubber, 300. Rubber reaches 300, Activates the 3 stages of the rubber body. The body has the toughness and elasticity of rubber, can be stretched and contracted at will, and can be stretched up to 30 meters. Crit. Supersonic speed plus 10 by 2. Current supersonic speed, 160. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2. Current meteorite, 380. Get out. If you don't leave, I'm going to call the police. Ling's Haruka casually picked up the vase next to it as a weapon and pointed it at Kato Tiger. Call the police casually. I have already set up barriers around. No matter how much you shout, it will not help. Help. Ling's Haruka didn't believe it. Keep yelling. Trot directly to the window and yell. He even wanted to open the window and escape. But it was discovered that there was an invisible wall outside the window. Hands can't get out. Instantly realized that what Kato Tiger just said was the truth. If you are really my fan, please be sensible. I can't be sane in front of you. I finally have a super ability, but I have to realize my wish first. You are committing a crime. Don't worry, you won't survive tonight, and no one will know that I did it. Aggravated Ling's Haruka's fear. This time I am extremely looking forward to the emergence of heroes. Desire for heroes has reached 200%, rubber plus 10 by 2, current rubber, 320. Crit. Supersonic speed plus 10 by 2, current supersonic speed, 180. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 400. Meteorites reach 400. Activate the 4 stages of extraterrestrial meteorites. You can mark any 2 coordinates on the Earth, and then you can summon a meteorite with a diameter of 600 meters to attack on the ground, and the meteorite comes with your own attribute attack. Kato Tiger rushed over with a lewd smile. Ling's Haruka instinctively waved the vase in his hand and shouted. No, how can you resist with this strength? Kato Tora dodged the vase and pressed Ling's Haruka to the ground. At the moment's Haruka Rios is close to collapse. But then there was the sound of glass breaking from the window. A figure stood on the windowsill. Who? Kato Tora turned to look at the figure on the windowsill. I heard someone was killed, so I came to see. Help. Ling Lai Yao seized hope and immediately shouted at Mu Bai. Don't worry, Big Bear, brother will save you according to the procedures. No one can do anything that hinders me. Kato Tiger took out his dagger and slowly got up. However, Mu Bai suddenly threw him out of the window with a backhand. 2 lasers chased after him. Boom. A firework lit up under the night. It's okay to get up. Mu Bai walked up to Ling Seiyao and stretched out his hand to pull her up. Ling's Haruka hurriedly tidied up her clothes and messy long hair. Thank you. Thank you for saving me. If it wasn't for you, I would have died tonight. While speaking, he hugged Mu Bai and cried. Don't worry, that guy has been dealt with, you are safe tonight. Mu Bai patted Haruka Ling's head. He let go of her hand and turned around to walk to the windowsill. Brother is going back to sleep now, you should go to bed early too. As for the broken windows, you should figure out what to do by yourself. Ling Leiyao immediately chased after Mu Bai. Both hands tightly grasped the corners of the clothes. Thank you for my words. Needless to say, the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. I know that I saved your life just now, but saving people is already a matter of life for me, and I don't need anything in return from you. Borrowing from Spider-Man's life motto, point 0. But Spider-Man at the moment has not heard this sentence. It can be your words now. At the same time, let Haruka Ling's immerse herself in your heroism, and treat you as a hero who does not expect anything in return. The most important thing is that she just saved her life. The scene just now made her feel insecure, and a hero like you is a perfect match next to her. Rubber plus 10 by 2, current rubber, 340, crit, supersonic speed plus 10 by 2, current supersonic speed, 200. Supersonic speed reaches 200, activate double supersonic speed, speed up to have 2 times supersonic speed. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 420. Which black Deadpool are you, right? Ling's Haruka stared at Mu Bai with wide-eyed eyes. A big star like you knows I exist. Compared to you, I'm just an insignificant figure. Anyway, can you stay with me tonight? I'm so scared. Looking at Ling's Haruka's pleading eyes, Mu Bai couldn't bear to walk back to the living room from the windowsill. Do you want juice? I'll get it for you. No, I'll just watch in the living room tonight, and you can go back to the bedroom to sleep. I dare not. I don't even know where that Kato Tiger came from. Then I will try my best to be a flower protector. I am honored to have your protection. I saw online uploads that you will be the leader of the X-Men tomorrow, right? That's right. Brother has another mission and responsibility. You're so good, not only did you kill Magneto, but you suddenly became the leader of the X-Men. Mu Bai walked into the bedroom with Ling Liao in his arms. The conversation between the two in the room became less and less. All that's left is paid programming. Until the next morning. Mu Bai was woken up by the sound of the system. You have 3 silver eggs, and 1 golden egg has not been opened. I laid 4 eggs early in the morning. Full open. Open 3 silver eggs, obtain. Hulk pants, infinite bullets Gatling, Batmobile. Open a golden egg, acquisition. Binding immortal rope, one of the magic weapons of the immortal family, it is the treasure of the cave town that Master Tu Xingsun taught the immortals to fear the grandchildren, and it can automatically bind the enemy when it is sacrificed. The indestructible Hulk's pants and the bondage artifact are a nice catch. Mu Bai immediately took the Hulk's pants and the fairy rope in his hands. Hulk pants. Indestructible, file size can be changed according to the user's body shape. What banner lacks the most is now in my hands. With the Batmobile, you can wear a bat uniform and hold a fairy rope to be the Batman of the Marvel world. Just being a hero is not enough, I have to play 2 roles, that is, Black Deadpool and Batman. One is funny and invincible, and the other is calm and calm. Mu Bai hit it off and agreed with the idea just now. One person plays 2 roles, experience 2 different lives at the same time and gain different fans. Popularity list plus 10 by 2, current popularity list, 70. Crit, popularity list plus 10 by 2, the current popularity list is 90. Violence in violence, popularity list plus 10 by 2, current popularity list, 110. The popularity list reaches 100, activate the popularity value, open the idol store, you can get the popularity value by unlocking achievements and the number of fans, the popularity value can be used to buy all items in the idol store. Every fan will provide you with different degrees of popularity every day. The more fans you get, the more popularity you get every day. You can also play 2 roles at the same time. The fan points obtained by the 2 characters will not conflict. Unlock achievement. Star Hunter popularity plus 500,000. Have at least 100 star fans, unlock achievement. X-Men's #1 popularity, popularity plus 1 million. X-Men official website X-Men total popularity no 1. Unlock achievement. A little achievement, popularity plus 10,000. With 10,000 followers, unlock achievement, 100,000 fans, popularity value plus 100,000. With 100,000 fans, unlock achievement, world famous, popularity plus 2 million. Fans from more than 30 countries, unlock achievement, million fans, popularity plus 1 million. With 1 million followers, unlock achievement, 10 million fans, popularity plus 10 million. With 10 million followers, unlock achievement, national hero, popularity plus 30 million. With 100 million fans, unlock achievement, superhero, popularity plus 50 million. Become the most popular hero in the world, current popularity value, 94.61 million. King over 90 million popularity points. Mu Bai was so excited that he couldn't close his mouth from ear to ear. I saw the popularity list before and didn't take it seriously. Now that it's unlocked, it works. Suddenly gain a lot of popularity points. Mu Bai couldn't wait to open the idol store to check out the products. Idol shop. Refresh every week. Rubber devil fruit. Price, 50 million. Frozen devil fruit. Price, 50 million. Niu devil fruit. Price, 30 million. God level universal fragment X100. Price, 1 billion. Skill universal fragment X100. Price, 10 million. Anti-Hulk mark armor. Price, 30 million. Anti-self-healing factor X100. Price, 10 million. Anti-self-healing factor double sword skin. Price, 1 million. Attack snowflake special effect. Price, 500,000. Attack poop effect. Price, 500,000. Fact, more than 90 million popularity is not enough. I can't afford 2 devil fruits. But this devil fruit should have a curse effect. If I eat it, I won't be able to swim. Buy something else first. Anyway, I have more than 100 million fans, so I have to give my brother hundreds of millions of popularity points every day. Purchase. Anti-self-healing factor X100. Anti-self-healing factor reaches 100. Activates serious injury. Your attack can overcome the self-healing factor, and the self-healing factor in others can lose its effect. Wank Wolverine's existence. Purchase. Anti-healing factor double sword skin x2. After changing the skin, your dual knives have the ability to restrain the self-healing factor. Purchase skill universal fragment x100. Purchase attack snowflake special effects. Snowflakes will fall from the sky when attacking. Purchase attack poop special effect. The poop will drop from the body when attacking. Purchase anti-Hulk mark armor. My brother also experienced a crazy online shopping. What time is it? Haruka Ling, who was awakened by Miu Bai's voice, rubbed her eyes. As soon as he opened his eyes, he saw a lot of things in Miu Bai's hands that he hadn't seen before. It's only 9 o'clock. It's already 9 o'clock and you still haven't left. You mean to drive brother away? No. No, I wish you would stay with me all the time. Ling Leiyao turned over and hugged Miu Bai. Eyes meet Miu Bai. The two looked at each other and smiled very sweetly. Are you worried that I won't be able to make it to the inauguration of the leader of the X-Men? Yeah. I read the news report yesterday. It seems that it will start at 10 a.m. You are not on the scene as the protagonist, but you are always by my side. Lingei's Haruka said sweetly. It feels like he is important to Miu Bai. So much so that Miu Bai was still with him after 9 o'clock. Turn on the TV. Let's see the scene. Miu Bai snapped his fingers and the TV in the bedroom automatically turned on. The picture of at the moment is an open space in front of the presidential palace. All the X-Men in the inner circle showed up. They greet each other and talk warmly. Seems like a long time no see. It is also because of Miu Bai. The X-Men finally got together today. Except for Logan, no one dare not give Miu Bai face. The outer circle is a semicircle surrounded by all journalists and media. The reporters at the moment are busier than anyone. Because I don't want to miss this good opportunity to interview the hero. And the outermost circle is the fans of Miu Bai. Holding signs of solidarity, they waited for Miu Bai's appearance. All the other X-Men fans were pushed to the back of the crowd. At the moment the most popular X-Men are being surrounded by reporters. Get to the bottom of it and want to know the inside story. Professor X. Why did you suddenly let a mutant who is not an X-Men become the leader of the X-Men? Is it because you are afraid of him, or because she threatened you? Or is it another reason? Not because I'm afraid of him. He never threatened me, we got along very well. And Black Deadpool was a member of the X-Men a long time ago. In order to make Miu Bai's appointment not so hasty, Professor X quickly explained. In fact, he had already prepared all the answers to the questions before he came. Black Deadpool was a member of X-Men before, why have we never met? Professor X, please answer. In fact, he is a secret agent of our X-Men. He usually hides his identity and never shows up in public. Secret agent, the reporters exclaimed. That means Black Deadpool is actually the X-Men's hidden trump card. That's right, because it's the whole card, so he will never be allowed to appear. Professor X likes this kind of self-questioning reporter. Then Professor X, can you control him? Are there any other secret agents that haven't appeared? I can't control him, he's the only secret agent. Beast and others on the side heard Professor X's answer. Knowing that the professor is deliberately covering up for Miu Bai. One by one, they learned from Professor X to answer questions from other reporters. All the questions of the reporters in front of them revolved around Miu Bai, the protagonist of today. Since it's the whole card, why didn't he make a move in the previous X-Men wars, but let Magneto destroy many countries? That's right, if Black Deadpool made an early move, Magneto wouldn't be able to cause such serious losses. Many countries suffered damage to varying degrees, and the island countries were the most severely damaged. It's not that we haven't thought of this, but Black Deadpool just wasn't on Earth at that time. Not on Earth? 4.5 The reporters looked at each other in blank dismay. It is not clear how Professor X will explain it next. What do you mean not on Earth? Could it be that he is an alien? He wasn't an alien, he was on the moon. On the moon? If it weren't for the most authoritative X-Men to visit in front of him. The reporters thought he was farting the whole time. Hear Professor X's answer. Miu Bai, who was lying on the bed with his female star in his arms, admired his ability to write scripts. Professor X can lie so outrageously, I almost believed everything he said. Is everything he said true? Haruka Ling lay her head on Miu Bai's chest and asked. Definitely all fake. I wasn't on the moon but eating pizza with 3 Spider-Men in another parallel universe. Your lie is even more outrageous than Professor X. However, as a human being, Haruka Lingaze completely believes what you say. After all, you are a hero, so you shouldn't lie. Rubber plus 10 by 2. Current rubber. 360. Crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2. Currently enlarged to 120. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2. Current meteorite. 440. Can Professor X tell us in detail what happened to him on the moon? Yeah. Why is he on the moon at the critical moment? Were the X-Men unable to reach him at the time? Or did he not want to come back then? Reporters stared wide-eyed for an answer. At the same time, there are reporters who are keen to dig up black material. Because Bai is now the biggest favorite, just keep a little secret about him. Are enough to cause a global sensation. It's inconvenient to make this public, because it's the secret of Black Deadpool. It happened that Bai's duplication suddenly walked behind Professor X and said. Seeing Bai coming, Professor X feels more at ease. Also hold back what is about to be said. I want to guide Bai on this. Let Bai answer by himself so as not to make mistakes. But through Professor X's mental power, he suddenly discovered that the one standing behind him was not Bai at all. Because I have seen Bai's duplication before. So Bai behind him must also be a duplication. An inauguration ceremony in which the president personally participated. Bai actually only let one duplication come. This is also a bit too disrespectful to the president. But Professor X didn't see through. Still smiling and facing the cameras of the reporters. A group photo of the two appeared in the reporter's camera. Can you tell us a little bit? Yeah, we all want to know why you were on the moon. A female reporter asked very curiously. As a reporter, it is an instinctive reaction to get to the bottom of it. Not only want to know, I want the world to know more. Yes, actually the moon is my energy source, and I was replenishing the energy zone. Because a big battle has almost exhausted my energy, so I will be away from the Earth from time to time. Magneto and they probably figured out when I'm going back to the moon, every time I start a war while I'm away. So when I come back this time, the first thing I do is to kill him to avoid future troubles. Bai's explanation made the reporters take the information very seriously. But their curiosity will never be satiated. May I ask what was the big fight that nearly drained you? We've never seen a big fight other than an X-Men fight. It can make your energy almost exhausted, and the scale must be more powerful than the X-Men war? The reporters stared at Bai intently. I am afraid that a little news will slip away from my ears. The reason why I didn't see it was because the big battle was in outer space. Outer space? The reporters looked at each other. The more you talk, the more outrageous it becomes. From flying away from the Earth to the moon, and now to outer space. Everyone is in a state of bewilderment, eager to know what happened. Y'all remember the end of the world in 2012? Remember, it was very lively that day. Because the Mayans said the end of the world will happen in 2012. At that time our whole family was still hiding in the air raid shelter. Almost everyone is looking up at the stars and waiting for the end. The reporters told one by one what happened around them in 2012. Time seemed to go back to that night in 2012. How can there be any quiet time, but someone will carry the burden for you to move forward? Actually, the prophecy of the Mayans was not wrong. I was the one who protected you on the moon, otherwise the Earth would have been invaded by aliens long ago. 5 prophecies of the Mayans, 4 prophecies have been fulfilled. Only the language of the end of the world in 2012 is not implemented. Everyone is doubting the authenticity of the prophecy. And your words make everyone suddenly realize. You made up a big lie and increased your heroic force several times again. Not only the hero who killed Magneto, but also defeated the alien civilization to save the Earth. The influence is huge, some fans have already believed it, others are dubious, and a few don't believe your point of view, and get 3 god-level skill fragments. Future Eye plus 200, current Future Eye, 300, crit. God Slayer plus 200, current God Slayer, 210, violence and violence. Time Lord plus 200, current Time Lord, 200, good guy, 600 god-level skill fragments. What? It's okay, believe it or not, I've already finished what I should have said. After speaking, Bai duplication pushed Professor X back to the X-Men queue. And just a word about the end of the world. None of the X-Men who knew Bai would believe it. Where did he really go? Professor X suddenly asked in a low voice. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask, just pretend you don't know. Even a duplication Professor X can only be obedient. Duplication also depends on the master who made the master of duplication too powerful. Rubber plus 10x2, current rubber, 380. Crit. Enlargement plus 10x2, currently enlarged to 140. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 460. At the moment it's 10 a.m. The president came from a distance. Surrounded by 6 bodyguards, because Mu Bai was present. Halfway through, the president asked all the bodyguards to stop in place. One person strode forward, and this small action affected everyone's mood. Everyone knows why the president suddenly removed his bodyguards. He warned everyone that Mu Bai is safe for everyone. Then he stepped onto the stage and gave 030 a speech that was enough to make Mu Bai yawn. After talking, Mu Bai symbolically stepped onto the stage to shake hands with the president and received the highest honor medal. And the title of leader of the X-Men. Congratulations, you will be the leader of the X-Men from now on. All X-Men are under your jurisdiction. Thank you. This title should have been given to my brother a long time ago. If it wasn't for protecting the Earth, I wouldn't have gotten it now. Re-emphasizes my previous lie. It makes the lie more credible. Fans who were originally skeptical also began to believe what you said. Unlock achievement. Master of Lies, popularity plus 20 million. The fabricated lies convinced tens of thousands of people. Rubber plus 10 by 2, current rubber, 400, rubber reaches 400, activates the 4 stages of the rubber body. The body has the toughness and elasticity of rubber, and can change the body shape, can be stretched and contracted at will, and can be stretched up to 100 meters. Crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 160. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 480. Mu Bai held up the badge symbolizing the leader of the X-Men in front of the crowd. The audience below applauded and shouted in unison. For a time, Mu Bai's reputation has reached the whole world. After the coronation ceremony, the president returns to the palace. The reporters also put away their equipment and prepared to get on the bus. The X-Men went back to their homes to find their mothers. Some X-Men who came all the way here only saw Mu Bai pretending to be aggressive. Nothing else was found. What do you decide to do in a moment? Professor X came to Mu Bai duplication and asked. Brother is now the leader of X-Men, don't you need to address me when you talk to me? Hint that Professor X is not big or small, at the same time, it also showed the official authority to everyone. Rubber plus 10 by 2, current rubber, 420, crit, enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 180. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 500. Meteorite reaches 500, activates the 5 stages of extraterrestrial meteorite, can mark any 3 coordinates on the Earth, and then summons a meteorite with a diameter of 700 meters to attack on the ground, and the meteorite comes with your own fire attribute attack. What do you want me to call you? Professor X was taken aback, but he didn't expect that Mu Bai would put on an official air as soon as he took office. Call me Dad. Professor X was so startled that he almost fell off the wheelchair. Just kidding with you, call me Captain in the future. That Captain. Professor X felt awkward, but still said. Wait, it's a bit simplistic to just call Captain. Call me Captain Dead, or Captain Deadpool. Reference to Captain Deadpool. Wade once thought of being named Captain Deadpool according to the Captain of the United States. Rubber plus 10 by 2, current rubber, 440, crit, enlargement plus 10 by 2, current enlargement, 200. Enlargement reaches 200, activate enlargement, your body can be increased to 15 meters. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 520. Why don't you call Captain X? Beast came over with the others to propose. Captain X has a good name, from now on I will be called Captain X. Captain X, shall we go back now? Shockwave was the first to shout. Compared to everyone else's poker face, Shockwave was extraordinarily enthusiastic. Definitely, I have already selected seats for everyone at the bar. Okay. Let's celebrate today, congratulations on your first day in office. Shockwave blurted out without thinking, and others were a little embarrassed. Looking at the expression, it seems that he is not willing. I thought it would be a bit more serious for Mu Bai to be the leader of the X-Men. Still waiting to give orders. The result is to go to the bar to have a good time. I still have to go back to the lab to research weapons today, so I might not be able to. Beast spread his hands. Today, some X-Men who came from afar will live in Mutant Academy, so I will go back with Chin to make arrangements. Colossus looked at Chin and said. Chin also nodded immediately. I'm old, and the bar is not suitable for me. The teacher followed up and refused. When will you send me back to the island country? Mariko is still waiting for me. Go around in a circle and say one sentence per person. No one wants to go to a bar to throw a rave except Shockwave. Seeing this, Mu Bai originally just smiled. Kissed Ling Liao, who was on the side, and said, brother just took office today and encountered disobedience, and now I have to go back and teach them a lesson. Your Rio's Haruka solution. I have already regarded myself as your woman in my heart. As a woman, it is natural to support her husband's career. What's more, today is the first day of taking office, and I will let you go no matter what. Rubber plus 10 by 2, current rubber, 460, crit, enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 220. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 540. Go. I'll wait for you at home. As soon as he finished speaking, Mu Bai disappeared from the bed. In the empty room, Haruka Lings was the only one left guarding the empty room. Hey guys, your real captain is back. In the next second, Mu Bai's voice sounded behind everyone. Seeing the real Mu Bai is back, the duplication turned into a puff of white smoke and disappeared in place with a puff. What happened? Could it be your duplication all along? That's right. I was filming a movie in an island country at the time, so I didn't have time to come here. Anyway, you've become the leader of the X-Men and are now our boss. Shockwave's sycophant followed closely behind. If you don't mention it, I really forgot that I am already your boss, but it seems that someone protested my words just now. The atmosphere froze instantly. Your appearance made everyone realize that you came back specially to deal with them. Because just now everyone felt that going to the bar was not a task, and it was a bit casual, so there were signs of not wanting to obey orders. Your words made everyone realize the seriousness of the matter. Rubber plus 10 by 2, current rubber, 480, crit, enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 240. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 560. That. Before Beast finished speaking. In the next second, everyone except Shockwave turned into ducks. Beast, Grant. Shockwave couldn't figure out who each duck was for a moment. Quack. At the moment, everyone wanted to repent, but they could only make a squawking sound. Mu Bai sacrificed the fairy rope to tie up all the ducks. T. Lu hung a bundle of ducks in the air. As soon as I go to the bar to perform, I will release the duck that twists well, and the duck that twists badly will always be a duck. Your words scare everyone. No one would like to be a duck. Starting to regret not following your order to go to the bar. It's a good thing now that it has become a duck at the mercy of others. Rubber plus 10 by 2, current rubber, 500, rubber reaches 500, activates the 5-stage rubber body. The body has the toughness and elasticity of rubber, and can change the body shape, can be stretched and contracted at will, and can be infinitely stretched. 1. Crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 260. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 580. Just as Mu Bai was running away with the ducks, he was about to leave. At this time, the fans of Black Deadpool ran towards this side in unison. One by one excitedly rushed towards Mu Bai with paper and pens. Okay, stop everything, brother knows what you want. Mu Bai held out a hand in a stop gesture. The fans are very obedient. Huddled together and stopped 5 meters away from Mu Bai. Everyone had the warmest smiles on their faces. The eyes are full of infinite worship. It would be great if all the X-Men under me were like my fans. I believe everyone will cherish every word I say. Black Deadpool, we are all your fans, can you sign it for me? I swear that I will treasure it well. Help me sign it, your signature is more valuable than Mona Lisa's smile. Can you take a photo with us? You give us hope to keep living. Black Deadpool, I'm going to give you monkeys. Black Deadpool, you are the only male god in my heart, it is my honor to be your fan. Seeing the eyes of fans looking forward to. As an idol, Mu Bai naturally cannot be cold-blooded. After all, the current Mu Bai also needs the popularity created by fans. Don't worry, all the fans have autographs. Really, the fans danced happily. Definitely brother never treats fans badly. A pen appeared out of thin air in Mu Bai's hand. Brush. A gust of wind rushed into the fan crowd. Wait for Mu Bai to reappear in the original location when the county. Every fan has Mu Bai's signature on paper and clothes. Achievement unlock. Pet fan plus 5 million popularity. Signed by thousands of fans, unlock the popularity wheel, spend 100,000 popularity points to start a lottery draw. It's so strong. In the blink of an eye, I already have my signature on my clothes. I have it on my ass too. It was so fast, I didn't even see clearly. Thank you. It's an honor for us to be your fans. Thank you for saving all mankind. Don't say too much thank you, remember to always support me. Jay is an idol and never disappoints his fans, and he loves his fans very much. Your words make fans enthusiastic, some fans even cried out. Never seen an X-Men as gentle as you, it would have been a long time ago for other X-Men to put on airs. You are not only strong but also very considerate. Everyone's admiration for you rises again. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 20. Crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 280. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 600. Meteorite reaches 600, activate Hell Meteor Stage 6, mark any 4 coordinates on the Earth, and then summon a fire meteorite with a diameter of 1000 meters to attack on the ground, and the fire meteor comes with your own fire attribute attack. Black Deadpool, we love you. Mew Bai waved to the fans. Disappeared in the eyes of everyone adoring. At the moment Satomi 803 in Tohara's home has been staring blankly at Mew Bai on TV. Such a charming and powerful man. No matter which woman sees, she will miss it day and night. When Mew Bai appeared again. Come to Zeus Bar with a bundle of ducks and Shockwave. Everyone in the at the moment bar is busy, because there will be many guests tonight. Everything has to be ready. This is the first time Vanessa has opened since taking over the Zeus Bar. It is natural to greet guests with the best appearance. Especially Tony. Once Tony gives a good review, the prestige of Zeus Bar will also be higher. Hey, my hero is back. Vanessa saw Mew Bai appear. Immediately threw himself into Mew Bai's arms excitedly. She is a very serious female boss in front of the employees. But in front of Mew Bai is a docile kitten. Brother is here to attend the party tonight, and I brought some duck along the way, and I will take it to the kitchen to make some duck products and bring it out. Your words make all the ducks quack. They are reminding you not to make a mistake. Nobody wants to be a dish in a bar. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 40. Crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 300. Enlargement reaches 200, activate enlargement, your body can be increased to 40 meters. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 620. Captain, it seems that the duck in your hand is not a real duck, but Professor O and them. Shockwave panicked and quickly reminded in a low voice. If Mew Bai really wants to make them into ducks, Shockwave can't help it either, even helping out in the kitchen. Brother is just scaring them, you put them in the kitchen, they don't need to perform at night. Throw the bundle of ducks in your hand to Shockwave. Shockwave gently took the duck, desperately ran into the kitchen. And the ducks are constantly quacking to make Shockwave intercede more on their behalf. Well, no one comes to Zeus Bar to make trouble while I'm away? Mew Bai is sitting at the bartending table drinking combustible oolong tea made by Vanessa. There were 2 waves, but they were all driven away by your duplication. Who is so bold to smash my bar? That was before, you haven't released the video yet. And those people should be the former owner of Zeus Bar. It turned out to be the guy who scared himself to death. Brother didn't do anything at the time, the old guy fainted when he saw me. Mew Bai finished his drink. He waved his hand at the duplication not far away. Puff. The 3 duplications that were left behind disappeared in a puff of white smoke. How did you cancel them all? They are all duplications of the old version 1.0, and now I have duplications of version 6.0. One sentence tells the difference of duplication. The previous duplication only had 3 abilities. Any one of the current duplications has half the strength of the curtain. The gap in ability is more than 1.5 stars. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 60, crit. Giantization plus 10 by 2, current giantization is 320. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 640. After speaking, 3 duplications were summoned. They didn't even need to ask about their abilities, so they went to guard their guards. I haven't seen you for a few days, it seems that you have become stronger again. Are you a god, getting stronger every day? Definitely, brother is now the male god in the eyes of women all over the world. And I brought you back a present? Gift. Vanessa laughed suddenly. Straight men like Mu Bai even give gifts. Vanessa really didn't expect it. This is a gift from me to you. Mu Bai casually took out a piece of clothing and appeared in his hand. A dress? Yes, put it on and try it. This is the limited edition cosplay costume for the Empress. Mu Bai, I haven't seen you for a few days and you actually like to play role-playing. Yes, because my brother wants to be a director. There is no need to say anything else. Let's hurry up and make a movie later. Mu Bai picked up Vanessa. The two went to the room behind the bar. After a while, Mu Bai is stuck on the point that the bar will open soon. Come out backstage holding Vanessa. At the moment Vanessa's legs were trembling uncontrollably. Even standing still is a problem. I'm afraid I won't be able to play tonight in this state. Don't worry, brother can do anything. Mu Bai waved his hand. Instantly heal Vanessa to the best condition. This. You have this ability, why haven't you used it on me before? Brother just learned it recently, don't worry, I will heal you every time after the end. Just when the two were talking, a man with flowing hair and a high-end suit walked in. Behind him was a chatty blonde beauty. Tony, why did we come all the way to this big bar in Ghana? I still have a lot of things to deal with. Don't you forget you're going to Afghanistan tomorrow. Don't get excited, little pepper, I have my own arrangements. Hey, it's not Tony and Green Pepper. Mu Bai saw that both of them had come. Immediately stretched out his hands to meet him. Seeing Mu Bai, Wang Ni narrowed his eyes and froze carefully. No way, you are still wearing a black uniform in the hotel? Are you a ninja? Don't tell me, you've already merged with the clothes on your body. Brother is so handsome, I'm afraid you will fall in love with your assistant after taking off your clothes. It would be great if that's the case. Little Pepper hasn't been in a relationship for a long time, right? I'm so busy with work for you, I don't have time. Little Pepper wrapped his arms around the bear, not feeling resentful in his heart. I thought that for the first time Tony wanted to take himself out to relax. It ended up going straight to the big bar in Ghana. Look, I brought you to the bar this time to find you a boyfriend, what do you think of him? Tony patted Mu Bai playfully. Hey, this is not a blind date club, besides, there is no shortage of girlfriends. Besides, if you really want to see brother, I can show you, but don't be surprised. Just show me. Tony, never amaze at how a person looks, even if you're ugly. Okay, keep your eyes open. Mu Bai lifted the mask in front of Tony. A benevolent smile surprised Tony. With dull eyes, he slowly raised his right hand and pointed to Mu Bai and said, Daddy? Good boy Tony, long time no see. Mu Bai took a step forward and hugged Tony passionately. Tony has not recovered from his father's rebirth for a long time. Definitely, he didn't think that the Mu Bai in front of him was the real Howard Stark. Just surprised that Mu Bai looks different from the expected ugly man. After all, he is exactly the same as his father. It was impossible for Tony to say the word ugly again. What the hell are you doing? Why are you exactly like my father? Tony opened his arms. He touched Mu Bai's face with both hands and looked back and forth, trying to find a loophole to disassociate Mu Bai from his father, Howard Stark. But no matter how you grope for the face, it really does exist. Even the voice is not much different. Tony, haven't seen Dad for a long time, are you excited and unbelievable? It's hard to believe, but you're definitely not my father, Tony said seriously. Facing Tony questioned. Mu Bai still maintains the stability of his father's love. He said unhurriedly, Tony, do you remember cutting down the apple tree when you were a child? Apple tree. Tony was taken aback. Yes, the apple tree that your grandfather Stanley Stark planted by himself. You got angry and cut him down because you quarreled with me that day, and you lied afterwards that you didn't know. I know you chopped it down, but I didn't go into it. Instead, I asked to find out who cut the tree. At that time, you were very angry on the surface, but I saw that you turned around and smiled triumphantly, as if you were a winner. You went out to play all day, and when you came home at night, you told me that you didn't find anything all afternoon. I just smiled. And then I told you the story of President Washington of the United States chopping down a cherry tree. After telling the story, I thought you would admit it, but you still said you didn't cut it yourself, and for that I punished you to plant a new apple tree tomorrow. Several words shocked Tony Stark, reference to Stan Lee. Tony still remembers this incident firmly. After all, planting apple trees is the most tiring thing Tony has done in childhood. It can be called the shadow of childhood. And you can clearly tell about the apple tree. Let Tony go from completely distrustful to curious. Reduce +10 by 2. currently reduced to 80, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 340. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 660. It's impossible, how would you know about my childhood? Tony stared with wide eyes in disbelief. Only he, his father and the housekeeper knew what he said just now. Because I am your father Tony, only you and I know the story between our father and son. Hey, call Dad again. Dad out of nothing. Forced to be Tony's father with such a strong father, others will not refuse. The fans are even more eager to be your son immediately, and then walk sideways. Zoom out plus 10 by 2, currently down to 100, reduced to 100. Activate the reduction technique. Your size can be reduced very quickly, the minimum reaches 10 millimeters. Crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 360. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 680. After speaking, Mu Bai showed the appearance of a loving father. Reaching out to touch Tony's chin. But Tony knocked him down. Don't touch me, you can't be the father, he's already dead. Calm down Tony, he just looks like your father. The little Pepper on the side quickly took Tony's arm and comforted him. She had heard briefly about Tony's father. I don't know that the person in front of me who looks exactly like Howard Stark is Tony's father. Pepper, I know, I'm not going to believe that Black Deadpool is my father. My father died a long time ago, and it's impossible to be so powerful and kill Magneto. Tony at the moment's expression is like telling Pepper a ghost story that no one believes. Tony, you have grown up, and I am very pleased for my father. I am satisfied with the conversation just now. It's time for me to leave. After speaking, Mu Bai's head suddenly dropped like a fragment. When he looked up, he was no longer Howard Stark. Instead, it returned to its original appearance. What happened just now? Mu Bai asked, rubbing his head. Tony and Pepper looked at each other. I seem to be possessed by a certain spirit suddenly. What tricks are you playing again? Tony was a little on fire. I can come to the bar to find peach blossoms happily. As a result, as soon as he entered the door, he saw Mu Bai acting. Our boss isn't playing tricks, he's a psychic. Then a waitress came over. That's right, the boss has the ability of a psychic medium, which can help us summon our dead relatives. It's like calling a dead relative and having the living talk to the dead. The boss asked me to talk to my dead daughter the day before yesterday. The last female waitress burst into tears after speaking. The other two waitresses immediately stepped forward to comfort her. One person's explanation may not be convincing. But at the same time 3 waitresses with kind faces explained. Persuasive power is greatly increased. Asterisk 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 M. Coupled with the crying scene of the last waitress showing her true feelings. Tony, who had no doubts, began to waver. Are you a psychic? Tony asked, frowning. He was indeed persuaded by 3 waitresses. Yes, they have told you what I wanted to tell you. I can indeed make the decedent talk to the living, but the conversation didn't take long. The person who talked to you just now is not me, but your father, Howard Stark. Confused, Tony turned to Pepper for an explanation. Tony, I've heard of a psychic, but I've never seen a psychic who looks decedent. That's because I'm more professional and stronger than other psychics. Others are on voice calls, but I am on video calls. The last sentence describes the difference very clearly. Let people understand at a glance. Tony and Pepper also gradually believed in the fact that you are a psychic. After all, the scene just touched the blind spots of 2 ordinary people, Tony and Pepper. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 120, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 380. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 700. Meteorite reaches 700, activate Hell Meteor Stage 7, mark any 5 coordinates on the Earth, and you can summon a fire meteorite with a diameter of 1,500 meters to attack on the ground. The fire meteor comes with your own fire attribute attack. The coordinate chain summons 2-1. No matter who you are, the scene just now really scared me. This is a small episode specially made for you by the Zeus Bar, Tony Stark. Others can't experience the treatment of high-level VIP. Thank you. If it was really my father who was talking to me just now, this will be the best gift I've ever received. Thank you. Needless to say, just now I had a 2-minute video call with decedent, 10 million a minute. You need to pay $20 million US, card or cash. Unexpected transaction, a question to Tony in a daze. He didn't expect to receive money for this gift. And it is even more outrageous that it is 10 million per minute. This is even more outrageous than Buffett's lunch. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 140, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, current enlargement, 400. Giantization reaches 400, activate gigantic, your body can be increased to 100 meters. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 720. $20 million for the conversation just now. I don't even know if the conversation just now was true or not. Just now you have heard the story of cutting down the apple tree, maybe I will know about your childhood. Why? You have supernatural powers, there is nothing you can't do. I heard that you know Professor X. Professor X is an expert in mental power. As long as you ask him for help, Tony's childhood incidents will not trouble you. Pepper is indeed Tony's chief assistant. Mentioning that Professor X immediately explained Tony's childhood. What's the name of this beauty? She called Pepper as mine, you better not think otherwise. See Mew Bai has ideas for small peppers. Tony immediately stood in front of Pepper and said. Just now I was talking about finding a partner for little Pepper. How can I become yours now, have you two slept? One word chokes two people. Little Pepper Mingmian is Tony's assistant, but she is the woman Tony has been in contact with for the longest time. The two meet every day, and even Xiaojiali will find reasons to meet Tony. She once fantasized about having a relationship with Tony, but Tony's playboy make her stop. Tony is the boss of Pepper, and he has more feelings for Pepper than other women. Pepper is the man who understands him best, and takes care of almost everything about Tony. Tony is always relaxed when she is there, and the two of them keep up and down level relationship. Because Ailong loves to pick up girls, she doesn't want to have any relationship with Xiaojiali, and she is afraid of hurting Xiaojiali. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 160, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 420. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 740. Nothing happened between us, I'm her boss, so I have the right to protect him. That's right. What are you talking about? Little Pepper hesitated. Don't be nervous, bro, just ask. Just as the three of them were chatting, Vanessa, who emerged from the back room, noticed Tony. Hey, Tony, you've arrived. See, the bar proprietress arrived. Tony finally had a chance to get rid of talking to Mew Bai. Yes, I'm here. Thank you for giving me the privilege to be the first guest to enter the bar. You're welcome, Tony. After all, my boyfriend often mentions you in front of me. Vanessa took Mew Bai's hand intimately. He mentions me a lot? Tony's mouth twitched. For Mew Bai. Tony only knew about it from the recent short video. As soon as Mew Bai came up, he mentioned the apple tree in his childhood. It seems that he paid attention to himself very early. Yeah, he said he's friends with you, and you don't owe him millions of dollars. Just now I asked him to talk to his dead father for 2 minutes, and now he owes me more than 30 million. You let me come first. Is it possible that you are asking me for money? The matter of money is another matter. When you see the order, go to the toilet and find a toilet to sit on. There will be a duck show in a while. Seeing Tony showing signs of turning around and leaving, Mew Bai no longer mentions money. This sentence intensified Tony's heart to turn around and leave. But I can hear you're joking. I hate and fear you at the same time. Tony labeled you cheap after meeting you for the first time. I'm afraid I won't come to Zeus Bar again next time. Save the high cost of the video call just now. Although there is no shortage of money, it will not be wasted money. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 180, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 440. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 760. You take Tony to the reserved VIP seat, Vanessa said to a waiter. Soon the two were brought to the VIP booth by the waiter. Left Mew Bai. Tony straightened his collar with relief. I thought it was going to be a guy like Professor X. The result almost pissed me off. What do you want me to call the undead? Tony confides in Pepper. If it were anyone else, they would have already bowed their heads and greeted Tony as he took his seat. Tony had better not mess with him. He is very powerful and the leader of the X-Men. He is a very powerful person. I know, otherwise I would have turned around and left long ago. It was because I was afraid of his strength that I stood there and listened to what he said for so long. Hello, your wine. At this time, 2 waiters filled the table in front of Tony with wine and fruit plate. We don't seem to have ordered wine yet, Little Pepper said. This is what our boss sent you. Okay then, thank you. Little Pepper smiled politely at the waiter. Tony choked back his anger. Open the wine and pour a full glass immediately. Then it dried up in one gulp. But after drinking it, I feel like my throat is going to be on fire. Tony, why are you drinking in such a hurry? Then Mu Bai appeared behind Tony. What do you give me to drink? High purity oolong tea, which symbolizes our friendship. You gave Tony a strong drink. Little Pepper's complexion changed and he immediately picked up the wine glass to measure the alcohol. When I saw the purity, 5.0 was taken aback. Tony, do you want to go to the hospital? Go to a doctor. Brother is a doctor. Mu Bai patted lightly. Tony recovered from his severe coughing to his healthiest state in no time. How did you do it? Tony felt his throat clear up very quickly. Brother's ability is so powerful that it makes you doubt life. But let's pay for the medical expenses first. Sudden medical expenses, the price should not be cheap. This kind of medical ability can be regarded as a miracle in the world. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 200, reduce to 200, activate the reduction technique, your body can shrink to 10 microns extremely quickly. Crit, hugeness plus 10 by 2, currently huge, 460. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 780. I can give you medical expenses, but what ability did you cast just now? Tony was curious about Mu Bai's ability to heal a sore throat in seconds. There's been a lot of research on mutant Tony at home. There are flight, hiding, stealth, and some can breathe fire and water. But relatively not enough to shock Tony. Even if Mu Bai transformed into Howard Stark, it only caused a small shock in Tony's heart. The most shocking thing is the healing technique just now. I don't want to lose money. I will pay the medical expenses first. Tell me how much. Seeing that you are friends, the price of friendship is $5 million. No problem. Spicy immediately writes him a check for $5 million. Tony yelled very cheerfully. It's such a pleasure, I would have known that I would change the name to $50 million. I've already paid, you can't go back on your word. Pepper immediately handed the check to Mu Bai. Mu Bai took the $5 million check and put it in his pocket with a smile. As expected of Tony, $5,060 is what you say, and I like making friends with you more and more. Brother is not an unreasonable person. I named the supernatural ability just now Newbie class healing method. Amazing class therapy? The three of them, including Vanessa, repeated it together. That's right, not only can it cure sore throat, but also can cure any kidney deficiency and premature ejaculation. Even if a chrysanthemum has been destroyed, I can restore it to how it was when it first bloomed. I don't care about those, I care about whether your ability can cure cancer or some incurable diseases. Tony's expression suddenly became serious, and just when everyone was expecting Mu Bai to answer, the door of the bar was suddenly kicked open with a bang. A group of men in cowboy hats rushed in first. Afterwards, a group of people came in one after another. Hey, why don't you open the door when it's time? Do we have to open the door and come in? Let your bar owners come out to see me quickly. Meet three menacing cowboys. Mu Bai looked at the other three with a confused face and asked, do those guys not watch TV? Anyone who has watched the video of Mu Bai in the bar. No one dares to come to find trouble, and the cowboy men who kicked in the door must have come from some remote town with no TV. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 220, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 480. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 800. Meteorite reaches 800, activate Hell Meteor Stage 8, mark any 6 coordinates on the Earth, and you can summon a fire meteorite with a diameter of 2,000 meters to attack on the ground. Coordinate chain summons 2. They probably haven't read the recent trending searches, and they don't know that this bar is yours. Tony's expression was very calm. After all, the owner of the bar is right in front of him. He didn't think anything more serious would happen next. Tony, my friend, you should teach them a lesson for me. Me? Tony pointed to himself with question marks on his face. That's right, go buddy and let them see how powerful you are. Mu Bai pulled Tony up and pushed him in front of the three cowboys. Since Mu Bai is not in uniform now, so the crowd who came in didn't recognize that the person behind Tony was the black Deadpool. Are you the owner of the bar? The expensive watch on Tony's wrist. Let the three unanimously regard Tony as the bar owner. I'm not. I'm just a VIP at the bar, but your behavior just now is obviously disrespectful to this bar. Oh, and then, what do you want? Do you want to beat me up? The 2-meter tall boy is like a giant in front of Tony. His hands were almost as big as Tony's head. Tony swallowed and glanced at Mubai behind him. Do you have anything to say? Tony, you know what the result of my shot is. The lives of these 3 people are now in your hands. Who are you? This guy's bodyguard. Mubai's size made the cowboy slightly wary. But not enough to scare them off. I'm his brother, don't talk to me. My buddy told me just now, he's going to beat you so hard. Indicating the trigger to Tony, at the same time let the cowboy realize that Tony is looking for faults. All staring at Tony, and Tony panicked a lot in his heart. He worked so hard last night that he still hasn't calmed down. Fighting now is completely tantamount to suicide. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 240, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 500. Enlargement reaches 500, activate the Giant Alliance, your height reaches 120 meters, and can make any person grow taller rapidly, the current upper limit is 3 meters. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 820. Did you just say that? The cowboy leaned forward and stared at Tony. Tony wanted to back away, but Mubai held his back all the time. That's right, if you keep messing around here, I will. Relying on Mubai as behind. Tony dared to retort like that. If you don't want to help later, can you let us in first? Tony turned his head and whispered to Mubai. I still want to find a bodyguard, but I'm already scared when I hear that this guy is gone. The cowboy standing at the front said to the other 2 partners. The 3 of them laughed at the same time. Laughing in front of the crowd made Tony's face somewhat uneasy. He's Tony Stark. That's when a sharp-eyed woman recognized Tony. As soon as this remark came out, some people who knew Tony looked at him one after another. Yes, he is indeed Tony Stark, 437 grams. I didn't expect him to come too. But now it looks like Tony is going to be beaten. Beat this scumbag to death. He slept with my sister and hasn't paid him yet. You're the rich man Tony Stark. The cowboy's attitude changes immediately when he hears Tony's name. Yes, if you want to sign, I suggest not to continue to make trouble here. Pooh. Your autograph. Don't think you can talk to us like that just because you have money and slept with a lot of models. Although we have no money, we can still kill you here. Get the hell out of me now. Now we're going to re-establish the rules at Zeus Bar. The cowboy growled, pointing at Tony. Tony from at the moment doesn't have any mechs. But still not cowardly, but I haven't waited to say it. A man in a black shirt made his way through the crowd. Hey, I said you don't know whose territory this is? His words aroused the interest of the 3 cowboys. Haha, can we not know? The old guy usually sees us so frightened that his legs go weak. Let the owner of the Zeus Bar come out quickly, and you will know who we are after seeing his frightened appearance. The boss of the Zeus Bar owner is still our younger brother. The words of the 3 made Mubai understand instantly. It turned out that they didn't know that the owner of Zeus Bar had changed. Know what you were talking about just now. Even the strongest Mutantex professor dare not say such a thing. What are you guys? How dare you scold the owner of the Zeus Bar here? The man in the black shirt walked aggressively to the side of the 3 cowboy men. Although the man in the black shirt has a strong build, but a little weaker than any cowboy, he still had an expression of not being afraid of anyone. I saw a young bird clamoring beside me. They ignored Tony and stared at the man in the black shirt. Are you looking for death? It's not me who is looking for death, but you. The man in the black shirt still shouted, an expression of ready to go to war at any time. Did you hear what he said? Ha ha ha, it seems that no one will be afraid of us if there is no blood. Suddenly, the fist of a cowboy man behind him immediately turned into a steel knife and slashed at the man in the black shirt. Everything came too fast and suddenly. No one was given time to react. In an instant, blood splattered everywhere. When everyone reacts. All I saw was a bloody arm on the ground. Another man was yelling. Ah! Everyone covered their mouths in surprise. Looking at the bloody arm on the ground and the screaming man. You're right. It's time for you to see some blood. Otherwise I really think Zeus Bar is easy to bully. The cowboy boy who was still screaming as soon as he finished speaking turned into an ice sculpture in an instant. Domineering powder. One sentence becomes the focus of the crowd. At the same time, it also became the target of the cowboy's attack. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 260, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 520. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 840. Cage. Sea companions are frozen. The other two naturally wouldn't sit idly by. A cowboy's two arms instantly turned into two chainsaws. The buzzing of the chainsaw frightened the surrounding people to back up. Another cowboy's arm turned into an axe and a long sword. Then attack Mu Bai at the same time, but just take a step. The body is directly frozen in place. Only the head was not frozen. At the moment Mu Bai has changed into a black Deadpool uniform. When you see the uniform Mu Bai is wearing, the two cowboys were stunned on the spot. What are you? Are you too frozen to speak? Mu Bai approached and teased. By the way, sign the black shirt man's clothes. Reward him for his bravery just now. The expressions of the surrounding melon eaters changed from surprise to surprise. I thought it was going to be a tough fight, but after seeing the black Deadpool appear, the result can be imagined. Black Deadpool, we are your fans. We are all your dead fans. I heard that you were at Zeus Bar, so I hurried over here. In order to see you, I came here on purpose just to see you. You are more handsome than those on TV, screamed the female fans. Black Deadpool taught them blindness. Okay, fans, be quiet. Next I have to teach these two ignorant cowboys a lesson. After Mu Bai finished speaking, he looked at the two cowboy men. The two cowboy men looked panic-stricken. Which Black Deadpool are you? I didn't expect you to know, brother. I thought it was because you guys never watch TV. Why are you here? Brother, is it possible that I have to report to you when I come to the bar? No, we just came to find Zeus, the owner of the bar, who didn't know you were here. If we knew you were in Zeus Bar, we would not dare to come in so arrogantly. The two cowboy men changed their attitude just now and said in a low voice. The owner of the Zeus Bar has changed, and that person is me. You two made my brother feel very embarrassed just now. What? Substitution? The two were dumbfounded. It's no wonder that guy hasn't paid the protection fee. It turned out to be a replacement. Sorry, we really don't know about this. Go around us, we're going to roll now. Not everything can be solved by saying sorry. Brother is now the leader of the X-Men and has the right to execute mutants who behave badly. Scared three people, at the same time, I found a very sufficient reason for myself to kill someone. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 280, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 540. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 860. We knew we were wrong. In the next life, watch more hot news, otherwise you won't die so unluckily. In the next second, the cowboy's head was also frozen. As Mu Bai disappeared in front of everyone, only Mu Bai reappeared. Three cowboys were thrown into the volcano, after seeing the troublesome cowboy disappear. The crowd cheered in unison. Okay, it's time for the bar to open, let's all come in and have fun now, there will be a duck dance performance that you like to watch later. The voice just fell. Everyone rushed into the bar in unison. The dynamic music of the bar also sounded at this time. More than a dozen sexy girls walked to the stage and started dancing. In an instant, the atmosphere in the bar reached a climax. Tony, you were very brave just now, I decided to have a drink with you. Go back to the booth and Mu Bai holds up a bottle of wine to Tony. Tony filled the hexagonal wine glass wisely, the two touched. Just as Tony was about to gulp it down, Pepper quickly suppressed Tony's hand holding the wine glass. Sorry, Tony, you have to go to Afghanistan tomorrow to participate in a weapons exercise, so you can't drink tonight in order not to delay tomorrow's trip. Men hate women chattering aside when they're drinking. I advise you to let Tony drink to his heart's content tonight. If Tony doesn't have anything to do tomorrow, of course I'd like to let him go home drunk, but Tony has to go to Afghanistan early tomorrow morning and something important can't go wrong. Little Pepper is fine, at worst I will sleep on the plane tomorrow. Tony, tomorrow is she. The cooperation between the Stark Group and the United States military cannot be sloppy. I have an obligation to stop you. Pepper pressed Tony's hand firmly. As an assistant, she must start with work and everything. Anything that involves work progress. Small Peppers will not stop him from hesitation. And her seriousness was exactly what Tony needed. This is also the main reason why Pepper will always be Tony's chief assistant. Chili, have you forgotten my brother's awesome glass healing technique? Even if Tony drank unconsciously, I can make him run around alive in the next second. One sentence made Xiaojiao give up the idea of stopping the two of you from drinking. If you can really heal, then you can completely ignore what she said just now. In addition, Tony also remembered the question he bought for $5 million, but he has not given an answer yet. You can't let the $5 million go to waste. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 300. Shrink up to 300. Activate the nanometer. Your body can shrink to 10 nanometers very quickly. Crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 560. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 880. By the way, you haven't told me about your healing technique yet. Can it cure cancer or some terminal illness? Tony looked at Mu Bai with interest. Mu Bai grinned. Lifted the bottle and drank it down. This 90% high purity wine is my favorite. The low alcohol wine is no different from water to me. You don't want to default, do you? We spent $5 million. Little Pepper reminded. Apparently she wasn't afraid of Mu Bai. Brother won't renege on my debt. My awesome class healing technique can heal no matter what the injury is, as long as it's not dead. Really? Tony's eyes flashed suddenly. It's like finding some treasure. Unless I'm drunk, I never tell lies. That's great. I'm short of a family doctor now. I wonder if you're interested? Let me be the leader of the X-Men to be your family doctor. You really think you are the hero who snapped your fingers and saved the world? Now you are just a playboy without any mechs. We are not on the same level. 17. One sentence back to Tony. Improve your identity while not forgetting to step on Tony. Tony also knows that he is only rich and cannot compare with you, a hero. Currently the only ability is the ability to own money. Zoom out plus 10 by 2, currently down 377 to 320. Crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 580. Violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 900. The meteorite reaches 900, activate the 9 stages of Hell Meteor, mark any 8 coordinates on the Earth, and then summon a fire meteorite with a diameter of 2,500 meters to attack on the ground. The fire meteor comes with your own fire attribute attack, and there is a 100% chance to summon 2 in a row at the same coordinate. Giving you $50 million a month. Make a deal. I just like being friends with rich people. In the last second, they were still talking about their identities. In the next second, he immediately bowed down for the money. Mu Bai opened a bottle of high-purity wine and clinked glasses with Tony again. This time the little pepper didn't stop him. Let Tony drink it. With Mu Bai here, Tony also started to try alcohol that he didn't dare to drink before. Soon, he drank his head and sat on the booth with Mu Bai shoulder to shoulder. The two looked like a pair of friends who hadn't seen each other for many years. Talk about each other's emotional history. Tony, do you have a favorite woman so far? Which aspect are you talking about, technology or rhetoric? Not at all, but a woman who makes you feel that you really have the idea of falling in love. When drunk, people are most open and most likely to tell the truth. Tony paused for a moment. He glanced at Xiaojiali, who was still busy working on his mobile phone. Although Xiaojiali's eyes and fingers are on the phone, but the mind was already on Tony, she also wanted to hear Tony's answer. No. Women approach me only for my money. One sentence made Little Pepper's fast fingers stop suddenly. She blinked and her expression changed slightly. Mu Bai sees all this. Well, Tony, I'll go to the bathroom first, don't drink too much while I'm away. Tony nodded drunkenly without saying a word. After the little chili leaves, Tony turned his head to Mu Bai. Did I say something wrong just now? No, you just need to follow your inner thoughts. Hey, what are you guys talking about? Then Vanessa came over. We just talked about how to make a woman run to the toilet to emo quickly with one sentence. Really? Then I want to hear it. Vanessa sat next to Mu Bai. Mu Bai hugged her and kissed her forehead. Look at the two smiling so sweetly. Tony actually has emo too, although there are countless women. And all of them are high-quality women. But no matter how much I slept, I felt empty inside. Tony didn't want to wake up every morning and see the same person. Instead of filling the void inside by sleeping with different women every day. In the eyes of others, Tony is the happiest man in the world. Because he's slept with every dream girl in the United States. But fortunately, only Tony knows whether he is happy or not. Tony, I heard that you are going to Afghanistan tomorrow. Do you want to take your assistant with you? No, I'll go by myself. Little Pepper is so busy every day that he doesn't even have time to have dinner with his boss. Then why did I come to the bar with you today? Isn't it because the models I invited had a car accident on the road, so I brought her here? Well, Tony, I thought you invited me here on purpose, but I was just a substitute. At this moment, the voice of Xiaojiao came from behind. The tone was clearly disappointed. That's right, otherwise who would invite an assistant who only knows how to work and doesn't understand the boss's mood? Okay, Tony, I still have things to do. After all, I only know how to work. I'm afraid I will only delay you from picking up girls here. After speaking, Xiaojiao picked up the bag on the deck and left angrily. Tony sat motionless on the deck. The expression didn't seem to change at all. But Mu Bai could see that Tony was struggling inside. He deliberately angered Pepper away. Directly cut off the hidden relationship between the two. A playboy like him doesn't need real affection. Nor does it deserve to have chili peppers. Tony, are you drunk? Vanessa frowned. I think Tony is a scumbag. Then immediately go after the pepper. Only Mu Bai on the side knows Tony best. Get close enough to put Tony's head on your shoulders. Tony, cry. Cry is not a sin. Taste the taste of long-lost tears. Even if it rains, it is a kind of beauty. Why not seize this opportunity and cry bitterly once? Speaking and singing into Tony's heart. A little mind control makes Tony completely relaxed. Since his father died, Tony has never shed a tear for anyone. In other words, it directly became a robot without emotion. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 340, crit. Enlargement plus 10 by 2, currently enlarged to 600. Enlargement reaches 600, activate super maximization. Your body can grow infinitely. The maximum limit depends on your strength. The current upper limit of height is 2,000 meters. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 920. What do you think I did wrong? Tony as a man leaned on Mu Bai's shoulders. Inexplicably wept bitterly. First Mu Bai awakens the memory of his dead father. Then there is the emotional line, except for the assistant Xiaojiao. None of the women showed real affection for Tony. But because he didn't want to disappoint Little Pepper, he chose to drive her away. In terms of interpersonal relationships, there are only interests and no friends who can confide. At the end of the day, Tony is a complete lonely guy. In a huge company, she alone has no sense of existence. So I had to use my status as a playboy to gain the attention of others. If you don't have money, you have the troubles of people without money. Rich people also have rich people's troubles. Why don't we exchange duplications? You become the owner of the bar, I will take over your position, and let my brother bear the troubles of the rich for you. Take advantage of the situation and want to swap roles with Tony. But Tony just got drunk and entered the emo state, not really stupid. Zoom out plus 10 by 2, currently down to 360, crit. Flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 20, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 940, forget it, you'll get better when you sober up tomorrow. After speaking, Tony wiped away his tears and sat up straight. It's a bit boring for two big men to sit together. Mu Bai snapped his fingers. Two beautiful ladies came quickly. To comfort our big lover Tony, he must be missing the smell of his mother at the moment. Yes. Two blonde women with exploding busts were immediately seated next to Tony. Accompanied by beautiful women, Tony stopped emo for a moment. And the two beauties are very willing to be by Tony's side. Maybe you can get a windfall in the next second. At this time, the yellow ambient light suddenly flashed in the bar. A cheerful chick-chick-cluck music plays. The handsome men and women who were still crazily twisting their backs stopped all kinds of courtship actions. First show at the bar tonight, Crazy Duck Swing. Please go back to your seats and watch, the DJ on stage yelled. The people on the stage all stepped down to make room. After a while, Shockwave came to the center of the stage with a group of ducks. This isn't Shockwave from the X-Men, he's here too. It's no surprise that the X-Men are here. The owner of the Zeus bar is the leader of the X-Men. It's not surprising to see Professor X here. Hello. I'm Shockwave from the X-Men. Next up is our X-Men special called Flurry of Ducks. The voice just fell. The immortal rope that bound the duck flew back to Mu Bai. The ducks regained their freedom. You guys have to swing wildly for a while, or you'll be ducks for the rest of your life. Shockwave whispered on the ground. Quack quack. And every X-Men is pouring out emotions. Anyway, they are all well-known characters in the X-Men. Now he has to play duck to please the audience. This huge contrast all comes from disobedience to orders. But right now he has to follow Mewbai's command. One by one, they came to the center of the stage stepping on duck steps. Shockwave hurried backstage and kept his eyes on the ducks. With the song sounded again, the spotlight hits the ducks. Ducks, you look at me, I look at you. They danced one by one. The audience laughed wildly. Chin, who is the goddess of the X-Men on stage, can't wait to find a hole to crawl into. Professor X is even more shameless, as the former X-Men leader admired by thousands of people. If only to be known to play ducks to please others. I am afraid that the memory of all human beings around the world will be deleted overnight. I hope that the show will end soon. Mewbai, don't tell this matter. A duck voting screen suddenly appeared on the big screen behind the At the Moment stage. Now everyone, please take out your mobile phone and vote for the duck that dances the best in your mind. The duck with the fewest votes will be made into a dish and shared with everyone. Mewbai stood on the mixing console and shouted loudly. The sudden vote almost made the X-Men flash their waists. I wanted to twist it casually to end the farce. One vote to let them know that it's okay not to work hard. After all, the last one will be turned into a duck. I don't know if what you said is true or not, but now no one wants to be the last one. The introversion competition of the X-War duck has begun. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 380, crit. Flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 40, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 960, after Mewbai finished speaking. Everyone in the audience clamored. Chin also went all out for the sake of canvassing votes. Others are still babbling. Lift the left foot and drop the right foot, lift the right foot and drop the left foot. Chin turned around and shook her hips. The little yellow duck's rump rises and falls. The posture is not lost to any dancer. This directly shook into the hearts of the audience. Other duck votes are still 0. Chin duck's votes rose to more than 100 in an instant. Jianshan is already far ahead. Beast is not to be outdone. A backflip elicited screams from the audience. I have never seen such a playful duck. Vote for Beast one after another. The number of votes reached more than 60 and ranked second. See what others have rolled up. Scott flexes his wings. Perform a space dance in front of everyone. The scene of covering the crotch with wings made the audience say that the duck has become a genius. The number of votes exceeded Beast by more than 80 votes. Wolverine roared wildly at the audience below. He even rushed off the stage and started messing with the audience. This crazy number of votes overtook Chin to reach 150 votes. At present, only Colossus and Professor X are still in slow motion with their left and right feet. Both of them got 0 votes because they didn't innovate. Colossus does not dance with heavy limbs. He glanced at Professor X. He decisively kicked Professor X away. This kick gave Colossus a few votes to overtake Professor X. I've heard of cats doing backflips, but I didn't expect ducks to do backflips. The duck that dances buttocks is so hot, it seems to be something to take home. Is that Michael the duck possessed? So cute. He can dance better than me, he should really go to the hip-hop competition. Haha, I laughed so hard. What a cheap duck who can't dance and started hitting other ducks. Can anyone tell me what this duck is doing under my feet? It ate my shoelaces. Well played. Out of the 5 ducks I hate the bald one the most. Looks ugly and moves ugly. That duck with no hair on its head looks like an old man, and it's the worst duck. Don't vote for a duck with no hair on its head, we're waiting for it to be a feast. Professor X listened to the clamor of the audience below. I suffocated my stomach. As Professor X, I have been ridiculed like this. Decided to go all out. Attack other ducks directly. Chin, who was still shaking her buttocks, was directly kicked on the ass by Professor X. Oh. Direct somersaults upside down. Scott, who was moonwalking, was tripped by Professor X. Fell off the stage. The backflip beast is even worse. RKO'd by Professor X in the alley-oop, he fell to the ground and never got up. The only Colossus left hastily backed away, preparing to flee. But was caught up by Professor X and kicked off the stage. See such a violent bald duck. The audience below burst into thunderous applause. Nice bald duck. Gosh, I like this violent duck the most. I love this duck. Who can stop the ducks under my feet, the laces of my other shoe match? How much is the bald duck? I paid $10 million for it. I bid $20 million. Don't argue with anyone, I'll offer $25 million. For a while, Professor X became the target of everyone's competition. Professor X also enjoyed being in the spotlight. The original 0 votes rose to thousands of votes in an instant. The undisputed king of ducks. End with stage music. The spotlight disappears. Only the panting Professor X stood on the stage. The Jedi came back, and Professor X Duck became the winner of this game. Mew Bai stood on the stage and roared. The audience below cheered together. Professor X Duck. Professor Duck. Professor X stood on the stage and nodded the duck head. I am glad that I got rid of the fate of becoming a duck. Let's celebrate the X-Men who gave us a great show. Mew Bai just finished speaking. In the next second, the Duck X-Men all returned to their original appearance. Seeing the ducks is all about the X-Men becoming. It was quiet for an instant. All stared at a few people with big eyes and small eyes. When the X-Men see themselves restored to their old self, hastily got up and fled to behind the scenes. Hey, wait for me. Why is no one coming to help me? The other X-Men, able-bodied, raced backstage. So as not to be seen by the audience, only Professor X was left lying on the ground with weak legs to ask for help. The person on the stage is Professor X, right? Seems to be. It's Professor X. How did he turn into a duck? Deadpool must have done it. It's so friendly to have the X-Men put on a show for us when we first took office. Black Deadpool is the most unassuming X-Men I've ever seen. On weekdays, the X-Men always look aloof when they see us. It's absolutely impossible for them to perform a show. I think the X-Men are good, not as high as you say. Scott is so nice that he even took the initiative to take photos with passers-by fans. I thought I saw Scott just now. That duck that skywalked should be Scott. Oh my god, Scott still has this. My opinion of him has increased a lot, but he is still only ranked under Black Deadpool. There was a lot of discussion below. Professor X hastily crawled behind the stage without shame. While climbing, he scolded the group of people for being ungrateful. Although he is no longer the leader of X-Men. But you can't let it go at the most critical time. Hey, where are you going? Not going to stay and say hello to the audience. Mew Bai suddenly appeared in front of Professor X. As soon as he stretched out his hand, Professor X automatically stood up. Then perform a healing spell. Professor X's legs, which had been disabled for many years, healed instantly. 2 legs are enough to support him to stand up. Professor at the moment X was somewhat shocked in his heart. He thought he would be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I didn't expect to be able to stand up directly after the performance. Don't thank me. This is the reward for being the duck dance champion. Your words touched Professor X. Professor X thinks this is the most valuable reward in his life. I don't need to continue to sit in the damn wheelchair anymore. Now you can go wherever you want, just like Mundo. Reduce plus 10 by 2, currently reduced to 400, reduced to 400, the activation becomes smaller, the body can be infinitely reduced, and the enemy can also be reduced in size. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 60, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 980, Mew Bai smiled and patted Professor X on the shoulder. Professor X expressed his thanks with tears in his eyes. Playing the role of a duck this time is a great shame to others. Only Professor X thinks it is the most valuable. Turn around and say hello to the audience below, let them experience the miracle of medicine. Professor X turned around slowly. Might not be a good fit for the recovery of the legs. Turning around is slow. I remember Professor X's not disabled legs. How to stand up. Professor X is indeed crippled and crippled by Magneto. He and Magneto were good friends at first, but Magneto wanted to kill the Dead Man class. Professor X came out to stop him, and ended up with his legs crippled. His legs must be good because of Black Deadpool. Black Deadpool still has this ability. Oh my god, can Black Deadpool help me cure my premature ejaculation? I will remember you for the rest of my life. Hey, buddy, I didn't expect you to have a strong physique, but you're still a second boy. The reason I'm strong is because I don't want to work out and recover and the results are not ideal. Brother is not an andrologist. Your problem boils down to the lack of girlfriends. Mew Bai's words caused everyone below to look at Meow Nan. Second man lost the right to mate in an instant. The few women who were close to him moved away a lot in an instant. Hi everyone, I'm Professor X, thank you very much for joining our new Sukuta X-Men Leaders Carnival Party. I made this show on behalf of the X-Men. Seeing that he couldn't hide from Professor X, he simply showed his cards. Let's get to know ourselves anew. I seem to have seen Chin just now. Who's the X-Men eating my shoelaces? Scott is the duck. I saw a blue figure flash past. Everyone, don't worry. The ducks in the performance just now are the benchmark characters of our X-Men. Jean, Logan, Scott, Beast and Colossus Zero. Let us now welcome them with the warmest applause. Professor X stood on the stage and applauded. The audience below shouted in unison. The X-Men who stayed in the background did not expect Professor X to be so ruthless. They read their names directly on the stage, and want them to show up again. Professor X must be angry. Colossus scratched his head in embarrassment. I didn't expect him to be such a Professor X, that he would betray us. Who told you to ignore the professor and run away? Logan said indignantly. You don't seem to be running away. No matter what, if we don't go out, it seems that we are not as magnanimous as Professor X, so let's all go out. Scott stood up first. Chin blushed. Can I not go? Come on, Chin, maybe they all like you just now. To be honest, you really impressed us. Logan was the first to rush out after speaking. And spit out the 2 shoelaces bitten in his mouth. Saw the X-Men coming out of the backstage one by one. The audience took out their mobile phones to take pictures. Scott and others endured embarrassment to greet the audience. Thank you for your support for the X-Men. I will continue to arrange such programs in the future. One sentence scares everyone in the X-Men. I thought this show would end at 5.4, but it was the beginning. After experiencing this time, they no longer dare to disobey your orders. On the contrary, Professor X looks indifferent. He seems to have fallen in love with the reward after winning. Even think about the rewards you need after winning next time. That is to have a head of black and thick hair so that his head no longer shines. Man of Steel plus 10 by 2, current Man of Steel, 20. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 80, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1000 meteorites reach 1000, activate the 10th stage of natural disaster meteors. You have 50 bolide meteorites with a diameter of 2,500 meters, which can strike any position on the Earth. Is the duck that did the butt-shaking dance just now Chin? Chin, are you that duck that twisted its hips just now? The audience below asked questions one after another. Don't care about the other X-Men. The only thing she cares about is whether Yekin is the duck dancing the butt-shaking dance. I am very much looking forward to Chin's answer. And Chin looked embarrassed. She is usually the image of a cold goddess. Now show hip-shaking dance in front of everyone. Immediately the setting collapsed. That's right, the duck shaking its butt is Chin. I just videotaped it. Who wants to watch it? You can watch it for $500. Mu Bai suddenly shouted. Successfully killed Chinshe with one sentence. She didn't expect you to videotape. If you post it on your Douyin account with more than 70 million fans, the consequences will be disastrous. She has already thought about the title. Goddess of Gao Lang is actually a butt-shaking sultry girl. Man of Steel plus 10 by 2, current Man of Steel, 40. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 100, flight reaches 100, activate flight, you have low altitude flight ability. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1020. Scott is the one who moonwalks, Beast is the one who does somersaults, Colossus is the one who plays Professor X, and Logan is the one who eats shoelaces. Luo paid me for my shoelaces. Do you want shoelaces, or do you want me to beat your teeth all over the place? Logan couldn't get used to it and responded directly. The shoelace man immediately shut up and stopped talking about shoelaces. Okay, go on, it's time for the girls to pole dance. Mu Bai urges the X-Men to step down. A group of long-legged and beautiful women rushed onto the stage. A steel pipe is slowly raised below the stage. The beauties kept dancing around the pole. At the moment Mu Bai returned to the deck. To see Tony is not there. Tony, who immediately located at the moment, went to the toilet with one of the women. With a smile on his lips, he immediately picked up the camera and turned on the stealth to teleport behind Tony. Recorded the picture of Tony in the toilet. After the two of them came out, Mu Bai was already waiting outside the toilet door. The woman was the first to rush out of the men's room. Tony followed behind to straighten his clothes. How's Tony done venting his worries? Although the taste of street stalls is not very good, at least you can eat enough. Go back and drink. No, I'm going to Afghanistan tomorrow. You forgot that brother is your personal doctor now, and I will guarantee you to wake up at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Hearing this, Tony raised his eyebrows. Then go back to drink with Mu Bai. It wasn't until he was unconscious after drinking that he was brought back to Shaojiali by Mu Bai. Tony. Seeing Tony flushed, Pepper's anger dissipated in an instant and became worried about Tony. What did you do to him? It's okay, he just drank too much. Why didn't you heal him? The current state is equivalent to letting him sleep indirectly, and I will wake him up instantly at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Oh well. Pepper pushed Tony aside. We're going to drive to Tony's private jet now, do you want to come with me? Brother can fly by himself, there is no need to take a plane, and you can call the flight crew to go back by yourself. Let him go back by himself? That's right. Just finished. The three people who were still in the car returned to Tony's villa in an instant. See the familiar furniture in front of you. Little Pepper looked incredible. You. Don't be surprised, I know as many moves as poses. If you go to Afghanistan with Tony tomorrow, I believe Tony will be much safer, Pepper suggested. I thought it was a perfect idea. That way Pepper doesn't have to worry about Tony getting into trouble in Afghanistan. Relax and go to sleep, you'll be safe with me in Tony's place. Mu Bai patted Pepper on the shoulder. Then teleport back to the room with Tony. And Tony's room is just different from everyone else's room. Technology is everywhere. It is detected that there is an intrusion from an outsider, please scan your identity. Stop, he's my Tony's guest. Mu Bai imitated Tony's voice and said. Intrusion scan for aliens has been cancelled. May I ask what help you need, sir? Get out. Receive. Anything can be executed with only a password. And the room can be switched into various modes as needed. There's even a waterbed mode. At the moment it was more than 2 o'clock in the morning. Satomi Tohara was still lying at home repeatedly watching Mu Bai's video account. Mu Bai's ice sculpture was pushed down by her into the air-conditioned room. The room was at 16 degrees all the time. Do you think the brother looks better in the video, or in real life? Mu Bai's voice suddenly sounded beside him. Satomi Tohara's phone fell off instantly in fright. When he was about to hit the bridge of the nose, Mu Bai caught him with his hand. Bricks said not to look at your phone while lying flat, or you could easily cause a broken nose. See Mu Bai appear. Satomi Tohara sat up all of a sudden. How did you come? The reason why I came here is to take you to Tony's house. After speaking, the two of them crossed the country and came to Tony's room. Tony from at the moment is being put on the ground. For a drunk, any place to lie down is a bed. Oh my god, Tony. That's not Tony, that's just an alcoholic, don't worry he won't bother us. After speaking, he picked up Satomi Tohara and got on the waterbed. Tony, on the other hand, was lying on his side, sound asleep. No idea what Mu Bai was doing in his room, until the next morning. Pepper came up and told Tony to go. Just got to the door. Mu Bai opened the door first and walked out by himself. Satomi Shihara, who was in the room, had been sent back by Mu Bai. And Mu Bai from at the moment turned into Tony. Hey sweetheart, come wake me up early in the morning. I'm just a subordinate who loves to work and not your sweetheart. Why are you still mad at me last night? You were my boss, how dare I be angry with you? How about traveling abroad with your boss? What is there to travel in Afghanistan? I still have to work. A private jet has been prepared for you. When are you going to spend 6.8 billion? The two walked downstairs while talking. At the moment Happy just rushed in. Tony heard you went to the Garner bar last night, didn't expect to wake up so early. Brother, if you don't pour a little wine in 1,000 cups, will it bother me? Brother. Chili immediately thought of Mu Bai when he heard Tony calling himself brother. But at this time Mu Bai's duplication appeared at the door to dispel Xiaojiao's doubts. My personal doctor is here and he will go to Afghanistan with me. Personal doctor? Happy turned his head in doubt. When he saw the Black Deadpool played by Mu Bai duplication, he opened his mouth wide. Black Deadpool. That's right, brother. I am your fan. Needless to say, brother can see it. Can I have an autograph? Happy. Don't be in a hurry to ask for an autograph. We will naturally fulfill your request when we come back, and don't bother my secretary Pepper's work while I'm away. A word so that Harpy won't bother little Pepper while he's not around. Prevent Happy and Pepper from having a relationship line. In the comics, Pepper finally married Happy Hogan, but the couple's marriage did not go very smoothly. After the economic crisis, Happy began to drink heavily. Pepper suspected that her husband was cheating, and the two eventually divorced. Then they worked for the Stark Group again, and then remarried. Harpy died protecting Tony in the comics. Pepper has always been Tony's best friend. Man of Steel plus 10 by 2, current Man of Steel, 60. Crit Flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 120, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1040. Remember to follow the military's arrangements after going to Afghanistan. Once you feel unwell, don't forget your personal doctor. Standing under the private plane, little Pepper gave Tony instructions. Like a mother who is temporarily separated from her son. I know, don't think about me after I leave, and don't bring other men back to my villa. 11. One sentence deepens the relationship between Tony and Pepper. In normal times, Tony would just say a few perfunctory words and would never say such a thing. Little Pepper feels like a different person after you came back from the big bar in Ghana. I used to feel indifferent to myself, but now I am merciful everywhere. I think Tony should get in touch with Mewbai more. Man of Steel plus 10 by 2, current Man of Steel, 80. Crit Flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 140, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1060, another 50 million U.S. dollars will be hired to hire you. You must protect the reward. Pepper looked at Mewbai duplication again. Don't worry, there is no one that brother can't protect. If he is dead, I have nowhere to ask for money. As for the private jet, I don't need it, I can take Tony there in an instant, and I can come and go freely. That's not bad, you have the teleport ability and you can make Tony come back immediately after going. Pepper thought of this. It suddenly felt that Tony's trip time would not be too long. You can fire the flight crew. My brother saved a plane and the flight crew for Tony, so I have to give me a raise every month. If you can really be by Tony's side every day, I might consider giving you a raise. Pepper thinks Mewbai's idea is good. Owning a moment is not only more convenient and safer than flying. And save a ton of money. Although there is no shortage of money, it will not be excessively wasted. I'm by Tony's side every day. Do you think I'm a personal bodyguard? If Tony is a peerless beauty, I can consider being a personal bodyguard for a week, the kind that will stick together no matter where I go. Your words make Pepper feel that you are not a stable guy. Maybe I help Tony today, but tomorrow I don't know where to go. In addition, they dare not control you. Your identity is just a private doctor, just show up when you need it. Man of Steel plus 10 by 2, current Man of Steel, 100. Man of Steel reaches 100, activate Superman. Man of Steel, you have Superman's defense, but no Superman's weakness. Crit Flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 160, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1080. Okay, let's go. Colonel Rhodes is already waiting for you in Afghanistan. As the departure approached, Pepper even tidied up Tony's collar. It's time for me to go, because I don't want to hear your rambling anymore. Mewbai duplication put his hand on Mewbai's shoulder. The two disappeared in place. The flight crew waiting to take off were told that Tony had arrived at his destination. He can disembark and rest. At the moment Mewbai and duplication have stood on the land of Afghanistan. Everything is going according to plan. You two are playing Tony and the other is me going to the US Army in Afghanistan. And my brother is going somewhere else now. Yes boss. The two duplications nodded and shouted. Then disappeared in place. Mewbai followed and disappeared. The camera turns. The terrorists preparing to ambush Tony have already arrived at the ambush point. One by one hidden behind the hills on both sides of the road. Two scouts held up binoculars and kept looking at the four. Boss. Who are we ambushing here? Because the ambush period was too boring, a younger brother asked. Tony and Stark will pass by here in a while, cheering me up. Tony Stark. The owner of the largest weapons contractor in the United States. That's right. The weapons of the Stark Group are the best military weapons we have ever used. Once we capture them, our weapons will become very sufficient. As long as we master their weapon technology, we can even sell them to the outside world. Just get Stark and we'll be as strong as the United States. You're overthinking it. No matter what, grab Tony first and then talk. This operation must not fail. A military vehicle will pass by here soon. Boss. How do you know? Some things are not for you to ask. The younger brother was stopped by the boss with a word. Everyone realizes that the person who ambushed is the boss of the world's largest weapons supplier. One by one, they became more vigilant as they looked into the distance. Hey, what are you all doing here because it's hot? They're all up and drinking coconut water. Suddenly, a shout sounded from behind the ambush point. Everyone looked behind in unison. I saw a man wearing a green fish headgear standing behind. He also carried a large bag of bottled coconut juice in his hand. Backquote, "Who are you?" "Those who come face to face." Everyone raised their guns and aimed at Mu Bai. "I'm just a passing tourist. Seeing that you've been lying here basking in the sun, I'm kind enough to give you coconut juice." One word to confuse everyone. It is a strange thing that there are still tourists in the wilderness of Afghanistan. However, seeing that you are unarmed and only have coconut milk in your hands, your vigilance is relaxed a lot. Microscopic vision plus 10 by 2, current microscopic vision, 20. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 180, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1100, meteorites reach 1100, activate the 11th stage of natural disaster meteors. You have 80 bolide meteorites with a diameter of 3000 meters, which can strike any position on the Earth. Send us coconut water? Why didn't we see you in the first place? Where the hell did you come from? I have been enjoying the shade behind some rock just now, so you didn't see me. Mu Bai pointed to the stone not far away. The terrorist boss glanced at the stone not far away. The stone is more than 2 meters high and can indeed hide people behind it. But still remains skeptical. Open the coconut juice and drink it yourself. I can't drink with a hood on. Take off the hood. Since you don't like drinking, I'm leaving. After speaking, Mu Bai turned around and was about to leave. But was caught up by the terrorists behind and stopped in front of him. Want to go? I want to see who you are? The terrorist boss took off Mu Bai's hood. When you see Tony's face under the fish headgear. For a while, I felt that I had seen somewhere. Why do I think you look familiar? You can take a look at the photo in your pocket. The terrorist boss immediately took out the photo of Tony in his pocket to have a look. Compare with Mu Bai from at the moment. Immediately panicked. You are Tony Stark. That's right, it's Grandpa. Okay. I planned to ambush you, but you actually delivered it yourself. The terrorist boss suddenly laughed. Suddenly, I felt that this task was too simple. Don't get me wrong. I'm just here to deliver some coconut milk, and I'll leave when I'm done. Send me some coconut milk, catch him for me. Why are you catching me? Is it wrong to send coconut milk? Grabbed by the arms by 2 of his men, Mu Bai didn't resist immediately. But his abnormality aroused the doubts of a younger brother. Boss is kind of stupid, doesn't he look like Tony Stark? The terrorist boss also felt that this person's personality was not very similar to Tony Stark. After all, Tony Stark is the chairman of Stark Industries. He is also an American billionaire and arms manufacturer. How could it be the man in front of him who came to deliver coconut milk by himself? So I took out the photos and compared them carefully. Look at the photo, Tony looks exactly like him. The terrorist boss handed the photo to the younger brother. The younger brother took the photos and compared them and found no difference. Don't compare, the group is the real Tony Stark. One sentence directly dispels the doubts of the 2 people. Realize yourself as Tony Stark, and the 2 of them stopped looking at the photos and chose to look at you. Microscopic vision plus 50,310 by 2, current microscopic vision, 40. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 200, flight reaches 200, activate the 2nd stage of flight, you can conduct mid-altitude flight. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1120. Are you really Tony Stark? Why are you here? The terrorist boss had a face covered in circles. He was very curious about how Tony Stark would take the initiative to deliver it to his door. Because I know that you guys are going to ambush me later, so I came to the door in advance to save both of you trouble. You don't want to wait for me under the sun, do you? Your unconventional playing of cards makes the brains of terrorists unable to turn around. You are indeed Tony Shishi Stark, but the way of speaking and the way of appearance are not like a billionaire. Microscopic vision plus 10 by 2, current microscopic vision, 60. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 220, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1140. Although I don't know why you knew about our ambush, it's not too late to take you back and interrogate you slowly. No problem, come here, let's go back together. After talking about the ambush point, everyone appeared outside the terrorist base in the next second. Seeing a group of people suddenly appearing to guard the terrorists outside the base, they were taken aback for a moment. Then fire immediately. Without waiting for Mu Bai to make a move. They were firing on their own. In less than a minute, Tony's group was wiped out. What happened? The leader in the base heard the gunshots and rushed over with his men. The squad leader who had just wiped out his own people greeted him. I don't know why a group of people suddenly appeared in front of us just now. We were taken aback, so we shot right away. What about that group of people? The corpse is over there. The squad leader pointed in the direction. The terrorist leader led the people over, after seeing the corpse clearly. The terrorist leader suddenly lost his temper. Are you blind? Can't you see that these are the people I sent out to ambush Tony? Was reprimanded by the leader. The squad leader hurried to the corpse to check. Sure enough, I saw an acquaintance. Immediately, he touched his head with a look of doubt. I don't know that they are my own people, but they just suddenly appeared in front of us just now. The captain is right, it did appear suddenly. If it's walking slowly towards us, we won't shoot suddenly. Seeing that everyone is talking, the terrorist leader was also a little confused. Why did the person who was just sent out suddenly appear? I can testify that they are lying. At this time, a survivor next to the corpse suddenly spoke. Seeing that there were still living terrorist leaders, he immediately walked over. What happened? The reason why we came back suddenly is because we know that we have a ghost here. And the inner ghost exposed our ambush point, so we had to come back. But who knew they would shoot us as soon as we came back? One sentence forcibly separates everyone. I don't need to contribute, it's all up to the terrorists to kill each other. If it is killed in seconds, it will not only be boring, but also there will be no material stories to shoot. Playing with terrorists is definitely more interesting than killing them directly. Microscopic vision plus 10 by 2, current microscopic vision, 80. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 240, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1160, what? Hear the amazing news. The leader slowly looked at the captain and the others. The word inner ghost echoed in the leader's ears. He also didn't expect that the terrorists he organized would have ghosts. But now the words of the obviously injured are more convincing. And what the captain said was obviously lying when the person suddenly appeared in front of his eyes. What did the leader say just now? The team leader also counted on the injured to explain the situation. Little did they know that the leader had already planned to kill them. It's okay, he told me everything just now. That's good, leader, we really didn't do it on purpose. Don't worry, you are all my subordinates, how can I not trust you? The leader smiled and patted the captain on the shoulder. Go behind the squad leader, avoid the gun and shoot at the squad leader's team. After the captain died, he didn't know why he died. It's like he doesn't understand why the ambush team suddenly appeared. Boss, they're all ghosts, the ghost inside? The leader's assistant suddenly wondered. They have been with you, leader, for several years. How could they be ghosts? Who gets the inner ghost of Kaguo? I don't know, the wounded man told me. When he turned his head again, he found that the wounded lying beside the corpse had disappeared. This surprised the leader. He quickly ran back to the corpse and looked at it. What about the wounded man? I'm here. Mu Bai came over from the other side. When did you go over there? When you shot and killed the inner ghost, I was afraid of being accidentally injured, so I ran away quickly. How do you know they are all ghosts? The leader's assistant suddenly asked. Because they don't drink coconut juice, and those who don't drink coconut juice are generally insiders. Coconut juice undercover classic reappearance. A few people are confused by a word. If you don't drink coconut milk, you're a ghost, it's really nonsensical. Everyone has begun to doubt your authenticity. Microscopic vision plus 10 by 2, current microscopic vision, 100. Microscopic vision reaches 100, activate microscopic vision, you have microscope-like vision. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 260, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1180, what? Are you serious? The leader was dumbfounded by what Mu Bai said. It's the first time I've heard of the idea of not drinking coconut milk to strengthen my guilt, ghost. It is too sloppy, although he is a person who did not go to school. But it's not so stupid to believe that you don't drink coconut juice as the ghost. Looking at my sincere eyes, you can tell how serious I am. If there is no ghost, how could they kill each other? One sentence makes the leader fall into deep thought. It can also be seen that the leader's IQ is not very high. A few simple sentences can make you play around. Soul astral plus 10 by 2, current soul astral, 20, crit. Soul astral plus 10 by 2, Current soul astral is 40, violence in violence. Soul astral plus 30 by 2, current soul astral, 100. Soul astral reaches 100, activate soul astral, you have the ability of the soul to leave the body. Boss, the team that ambushed Tony is gone, should we send someone over there again? W? The subordinates on the side suddenly mentioned Tony. After all, the higher up gave the order to die. No matter what, I have to catch Tony today. As for whether Tony is dead or alive, I don't care. Don't worry. First ask him what's going on. You just said that the United States military found our ambush? That's right. You fought him? There was no battle or sight of the MI army. Then how do you know the ambush point is exposed? Guess. As soon as I guessed the terrorist leader, I immediately became furious. This is even more outrageous than judging the ghost with coconut milk. All the teams that ambushed Tony came back just because of a guess. Lucky plus 10 by 2, current luck, 30, crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 280. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1200. Meteorites reach 1200, activate the 12th stage of natural disaster meteors. You have 100 bolide meteorites with a diameter of 3000 meters, which can strike any position on the Earth. Each meteorite will explode after landing, and the power is comparable to 10 times that of nuclear bombs. Fact. Can you guess? You're F***king going to piss me off, aren't you? By the way, why haven't I seen you before? I'm not a terrorist, I'm Tony's brother, and I'm here to destroy you. You are Tony's man. Kill him for me. The terrorist leader roared in anger. The men behind him raised their guns and aimed at Mu Bai to shoot. In an instant, hundreds of bullets flew towards Mu Bai. And Mu Bai didn't have to hide at all. The bullet automatically stopped in the air 2 meters away from him. The dense bullets formed a wall of bullets in front of Mu Bai. Seeing the strange phenomenon in front of them, everyone was so frightened that they couldn't even hold their guns. You. Who the hell are you? Have you heard of Black Deadpool? No, you should be a mutant. I haven't even heard of the Black Deadpool, you guys died unjustly. Mu Bai waved his hand. The bullets in front of them are like bees chasing the terrorists. Brush. In a few seconds, all the terrorists were riddled with bullets and bees. Only the terrorist leader was left kneeling on the ground with his eyes wide open. See Mu Bai's strength. He no longer had any thoughts of resistance. Why? Have mercy on me. Brother Anshin didn't want to kill you on purpose, but he wanted to send you to a place. No, I don't want to go to heaven. Go to heaven. May I ask what qualifications you have to go to heaven? Mu Bai took a step forward and teleported the terrorist leader to the military area where James Rhodes was. The sudden appearance of 2 people put the United States military on high alert. Stop. This is the military region where the United States is stationed in Afghanistan, and casual intrusion is not allowed. What shit, the United States, meddling in internal affairs everywhere under the guise of peace. Sooner or later I will uproot you, the United States. You. Take one more step and we'll shoot. Shoot? I'm afraid you don't have the strength. In the next second, all the guns in Mi Jun's hands flew into the air. Brother doesn't like being pointed at with a gun. I don't know if you like this feeling. After speaking, all the guns that stopped in the air were aimed at the soldiers below. The soldiers raised their hands one by one and dared not make any movements. War Machine Rhodes, come out. I brought you a Christmas present, maybe you can get promoted. Rhodes heard Mu Bai's voice transmission. He hurried over with his men. When he saw the submachine gun hanging in the air, the man was frightened. What happened? Don't worry about small scenes. You. Black Deadpool. Needless to say, you definitely want to sign. I don't want it. What are you doing here suddenly? A Christmas present for you. Mu Bai threw the terrorist leader in front of Rhodes. Seeing this person, Rhodes looked blank. He didn't know that the man who was thrown over was the target of the military's operation. Who is he? You have 100,000 whys. Why are there so many questions? I've brainwashed him, and now he can answer any questions fluently. Don't forget to ask him about the ambush Wani. One sentence reminds Rhodes. Find out the behind-the-scenes mafia who framed Tony. Nip the conspiracy to kill Tony and occupy Stark Company in the cradle. Lucky plus 10 by 2, current luck, 50, crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 300. Flight reaches 300, activate the 3 stages of flight, you can perform high-altitude flight. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1200. Mu Bai then returned to the terrorist base. Only the terrorist leader and Rhodes were left staring at each other. Boom boom boom. Anyone there? Mu Bai stood in front of the cell where Ethan was held and knocked on the door. And at the moment Ethan is taking a nap inside. Hearing the knock on the door, the brain immediately wakes up and pretends to be busy with work. I'm coming in. Mu Bai opened the door and walked in while talking. When I saw the person who came in, he was wearing a black tights uniform. Ethan adjusted his glasses in surprise. What are you dressed up for? Standard superhero attire. Hero? Ethan laughed when he heard it. He doesn't think everyone here is a hero. It should be called a devil. Killed, looted and locked himself here for several years. If it weren't for the photos of family members and the belief that someone would come to save him, Ethan probably committed suicide long ago. Do you have any wish? The hero is here to grant your wish. Wish? I said I want to go home. Can you send me back? Ethan found this question ridiculous. Going home? This wish is too simple. If you want 100 million yuan, I will feel a little worried. Are you here to make me happy? Ethan didn't think the man in front of him could really fulfill his wish. He never looked for hope in terrorists. It also casts Mu Bai as a terrorist who likes to perform. Heroes are never funny. After speaking, Ethan, who was originally staying in the cell, disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he returned to his home. At the moment Ethan's wife is blowing out candles with the children. Today is Ethan's wife's birthday. She was making a wish on the candle with her eyes closed. Every birthday wish is to pray to God to let her husband Ethan come home. It's useless to pray to God, because God is the only fantasy you can rely on in your predicament. If you really want your wish to come true, I can suggest you to go to Black Deadpool. I take the place of God by myself. Instead of praying, it's better to ask the real heroes for help. Your words caught the attention of the whole family. 0. Ethan behind him is even more confused and feels that everything in front of him is strange and familiar. He doesn't even know whether he was dreaming or was really brought home by you. Obviously he believes in the former more. Lucky plus 10 by 2, current luck, 70. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 320, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1220, you're Black Deadpool. You actually know me. Your deeds are a sensation all over the country. No one does not know you. My daughter is your fan. Compared to knowing me, you should be more familiar with the person behind me, right? Mu Bai took a step to the left. Ethan with a dirty face appeared in front of several people. Ethan. Seeing Ethan standing there sluggishly, his wife covered her mouth and burst into tears instantly. The children got up excitedly and rushed towards Ethan. The family has not seen each other for several years. Without saying a word, Ethan rushed to the children and hugged them. After feeling the reality brought by the child's body, Ethan looked at Mu Bai in surprise. Don't be surprised, brother said that he will fulfill your wish. Now you are not dreaming that you are really going home. Brother is much more reliable than Tony. You don't need to risk your life to procrastinate, but return home happily without any regrets. Your words touched Ethan and his family. Everyone will worship you as a god in the future. You have gained a family of diehard fans. Transformation plus 10 by 2, current transformation, 20. Crit, transformation plus 10 by 2, current transformation, 40. Violence in violence, transformation plus 10 by 2, current transformation, 60. Thank you. Thank you for everything you have done for our family. After several people hugged each other, they all knelt in front of Mu Bai and wept. You're welcome. I'm going to save more families now so I won't stay for dinner. Look at the happy family. Mu Bai didn't stop. Then disappeared in Ethan's home. Only Ethan and the others were left to hug each other again at home. He never dreamed that he would be rescued by Mu Bai. After helping Ethan fulfill his dream and reunite his family, Mu Bai returned to Afghanistan again. Now he wants to perpetuate heroism. Eliminate all terrorists. Let all those who have been separated for many years be sent home. Free the suffering people from the terror of the terrorists. It seems that the news of brother killing the terrorists and saving the hostages will definitely cause a sensation in the world again. Brother's fans are estimated to exceed 100 million after this operation. While eliminating terrorists, don't forget to make a promotional video. While getting diehard fans, you can also get ordinary fans at the same time, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Lucky plus 10 by 2, current luck, 90. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 340. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1240. Mu Bai quickly found the location of the terrorists through positioning. It was useless to fly directly to the destination in an instant. 663, at the moment, gunshots rang out in the village not far away. A group of armed terrorists is ransacking a village in Afghanistan. The gunshots were mixed with desperate cries of people. No, please, let go of my grandson monkey. Catch me if you want. She's only 16 years old and doesn't understand anything. 16 years old. I like tender ones the most, and I just caught them back and made them wives for us in turn. As for you being so old, just looking at it is disgusting. You scum, you will die badly. Hearing what the terrorists said, the girl's elderly grandmother burst into tears. Sitting on the ground and cursing at the terrorists. At the moment is not afraid of life and death and only cares about the comfort of his granddaughter. If you can save your granddaughter with your life, the old man will definitely have no hesitation dedication. But terrorists are a group of villains who kill people without spit out their bones. They ignore morality, no matter what kind of life is in their eyes, they are prey at their mercy. Damn old woman, I think you really want to die. One of the terrorists spat and walked towards the old man with a knife in hand. He was going to chop off the old man's head. The others around closed their eyes and did not want to see the tragic death of the old man. The old man's eyes were firm. There was no begging for mercy, only cursing and verbal abuse. As an unarmed ordinary person, she only hopes that her curse will work. It's so boring to kill her. I want the old woman to watch her granddaughter become our woman with my own eyes. 11. Ha ha ha. This method is good, but unfortunately his son was killed by me because of his resistance, otherwise the whole family would have something to watch. Bastard, you must die. Although you scold me, you, an old woman, will cry later. You can say whatever you want, but no one will come to save you. Now we have the final say in this area. Your life and death are in our hands. Looking at the refugees kneeling on the ground. Terrorists feel superior with their guns in their hands. And it was said by terrorists. The refugees kneeling on the ground all around were weeping. They know the tactics of terrorists. At the same time, it is also clear what will be experienced in a while. But no one dared to resist. The terrorists were talking happily. Suddenly, a huge shadow appeared above them, blocking the sunlight above their heads. Several people looked up curiously. I saw the shadow getting bigger and bigger. Boom. Mu Bai drove the anti-Hulk Mark armor and landed heavily. The three terrorists under their feet were directly trampled into flesh, and their flesh and blood splattered 3 feet. Looking at the behemoth that suddenly landed in front of him. The refugees kneeling around were full of panic. Can't help but climb to the distance, because they have never seen such a big robot. Looking at the strange robot in front of him. The other terrorists were in a dazed state. I thought it was hallucinations due to too many murders. Am I dazzled? What's in front of me? Shape-shifting King Kong in the United States movie? Everyone, don't be afraid. Brother is Black Deadpool's younger brother Iron Man. This time he was specially ordered by Black Deadpool to come to rescue you. One sentence awakens hope in the hearts of refugees. I thought it was a new weapon for terrorists. Knowing that they are righteous people who are here to deal with terrorists, everyone is extremely excited in their hearts. At the same time as Iron Man, one person plays 2 roles. It also declares that Iron Man is the identity of the Black Deadpool boy. Lucky plus 10 by 2, current luck, 110, luck reaches 100, activate the lucky star, you get the attention of the goddess of luck, and you will become even luckier. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 360, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1260, it looked like someone was driving inside. Kill him. Men in hijabs don't believe in evil. Going head to head with the anti-Hulk armor. Instruct others to pick up AK and shoot at Mu Bai indiscriminately. The bullets hit the battle armor and made a crackling sound. In keeping with Iron Man's high-tech image, Mu Bai gave up his abilities and switched to Warframe weapons. A huge palm cannon instantly blasted the people in front of them into a pulp. This palm cannon also exploded in the hearts of the refugees. See anti-Hulk armor so strong. The refugees stood up and applauded. Can a hero help us clean up the terrorists on the other side? Here is only a small part, there are many more terrorists out there. No problem. Brother is here to deal with the pests, and if the pests don't die, brother won't leave. One sentence won the hearts of the people and successfully attracted fans. Everyone remembers what you did today. At this moment in their hearts you are greater than God. Acquire diehard fans Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 320. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 360, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1260, in the eyes of everyone, Mubai drove the anti-Hulk into the air again. The huge amounts of sound quickly attracted the attention of terrorists in the distance. What it is? Great, did the United States send the weapons? Shoot him down. For seeing anti-Hulk armor for the first time. The terrorists panicked one by one. They raised their weapons and fired. But bullets are not enough to tickle the anti-Hulk armor. Drive the missile behind. Carpet bombing from the air. Brush. Boom. Within 10 seconds, hundreds of terrorists were all blown to pieces. The death was quite tragic, after eliminating all the terrorists in the village. Mubai didn't stop. Feel the cheers of the refugees below. Fly to the next target. It is not finished until all the terrorists are wiped out in succession. 5.6. Send brother's video to Douyin. Let everyone know that brother has done another big thing. Soon a deed called a giant robot that wiped out terrorists in Afghanistan shocked the entire internet. For a while, it became a hot topic again, because this video was posted on Mubai's Black Deadpool's Douyin account. All credit for that goes to Black Deadpool. No one expected Mubai to have such a powerful mecha. It feels even more cool than the mechs in the Pacific Rim. Mubai's account with tens of millions of followers successfully broke through the 100 million mark. Sitting on 130 million fans. Unlock achievement, 100 million fans, plus 100 million popularity. Unlock achievement. New hero identity, 20 million popularity. Combined with the hundreds of millions of popularity points given in the morning, now I can empty the idol store. After speaking, empty all the devil fruits in the idol shop. Iron Man? Tony from at the moment is drinking tea in Rhodes base. Looking at the trending news just pushed by the phone. Mubai, you still have a younger brother named Iron Man? His mecha looks too cool. Tony showed the anti-Hulk armor screenshot to Mubai duplication. When Mubai heard Tony was curious about anti-Hulk armor. Transpose directly with duplication. Handle Tony's answer yourself. That's right, Iron Man is my younger brother, and I'm very optimistic about him. Can I meet him? Tony looked excited. Definitely can, who call us friends. Mubai said while dragging a chair and sitting beside Tony. When will we meet? I want to discuss the mecha with him. No problem, give me 10 million first, and I will arrange for you to meet. 10 million is no problem. Tony immediately agreed without even frowning. Compared to 10 million, Tony would much rather discuss Warframe technology with Iron Man. I have plans to study drone armor weapons recently. Mentioning the armor, Tony said to Mubai unabashedly. As long as the war machine is created, no one will need to sacrifice their lives in future wars, and the war machine can completely replace soldiers. Hearing Tony's naive thoughts, Mubai asked with a smile, do you know what the best way to solve the war in 2006 is? Tony was stunned and felt that Mubai seemed to have something to say. If you want to maintain world peace, you must have powerful weapons to deter. Wrong. The only way to achieve world peace is to make the United States disappear from the world map. Unexpected answer, but hit the nail on the head. Tony can't even refute it. The United States is equivalent to the villain of the world under the guise of justice. As long as the world disappears, the world can definitely continue to be peaceful. Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 340. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 380, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1280. Even if the United States disappears, the next United States will appear and become the world leader. Every country is eyeing. Don't worry, as long as there is brother in the world, there will be peace. If any country dares to provoke other countries at will, I will definitely send 100 meteorites to that country, so that they can experience why dinosaurs suddenly became extinct. One sentence scares Tony, and has the intention of destroying the United States. He knows that your strength is very strong, but the meteorite just mentioned made Tony feel that your strength should not be revealed to those factories. There must be a stronger killing move that has not been shown. For a while I couldn't tell who you were. Killing Magneto and ruling the X-Men in a few days is simply beyond the reach of ordinary people. Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 360. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 400, flight reaches 400. Activate the 4 stages of flight, You can fly at super high altitudes, and the highest flight altitude can reach the atmosphere. Violence in violence, meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1300. Meteorites reach 1300, activate the 13th stage of natural disaster meteors. You have 200 bolide meteorites with a diameter of 4,000 meters, which can strike any position on the Earth. Each meteorite will explode after landing, and the power is comparable to 1,000 times nuclear bomb. Okay. Let's not talk about war. I, Tony, am a weapons manufacturer but not a warmonger. To make weapons is not to be a warmonger. Well. Anyway, I am against war, and besides, with your strength, no one would dare to provoke a war.
I hope no one, but don't be afraid that I won't erase the United States at will. After all, the people are innocent.
Mu Bai patted Tony on the shoulder. Tony breathed a sigh of relief. I really thought Mu Bai wanted to destroy the United States. As the leader of the X-Men, just let Professor X brain kill. Without firing a single soldier, the United States is doomed. So no one dared to offend Mu Bai. By the way, I will arrange for you to meet with Iron Man, and then you should research and develop and don't be afraid. Your words made Tony relax a lot originally. The conversation just now made Tony afraid to bring up Iron Man again. And you took the initiative to mention it, which means that you are not involved in Tony's research and development of armor. Tony can also boldly communicate technology with Iron Man. Future I plus 10 by 2. Current future I, 380, crit. Flight plus 10 by 2. Current flight, 420, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2. Current meteorite, 1320. Thank you. I will definitely let you know if the development starts. Don't tell me. I have no shortage of mechs, because the big armor in the video is a gift made by me for Iron Man, and the technology of Iron Man is also taught by me personally. Amazing inside story. I thought I was a peerless genius in weapon manufacturing. Your words make Tony feel ashamed. Not only is your strength nothing to say, but you are also so awesome in making weapons. Tony has never convinced anyone, but today Tony is completely convinced. Eye of the future plus 10 by 2, current eye of the future, 400. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 440, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1340, you also make armor? Then we can study it. I don't have time to study this and that with you. Remember to transfer 20 million to me, and I will arrange for you to meet Iron Man. 20 million. Just returned 10 million, because the price has increased. After saying that, Mu Bai disappeared. Only Tony was left at Rhodes' base. At the moment Rhodes just came back. Tony, I thought you were gone. I could have gone, but the guy seemed to forget about me. Then it happens that we can have a good chat tonight, and there is another big thing to tell you. What's the big deal? Black Deadpool came here this morning, and brought a person with him. Black Deadpool in the morning. I remember him being by my side the whole time. Doesn't that guy have a duplication? It's very likely that his duplication sent it. Who is so mysterious? About your employee Stan. Stan. Veteran of the arms department. Your visit to Afghanistan this time is actually a plan arranged by him, and it also hides an ulterior secret. My colleagues in the United States have already arrested him. Caught Stan. What the hell is going on? Don't worry Tony, you'll know about this sooner or later. But you can stay here for the next 2 days, we haven't seen each other for a long time. Number 683 question. Rhodes' deliberate secrecy made Tony even more curious about what was going on with Stan. And what kind of person Mu Bai brings to Rhodes. Tony's going to stay in Afghanistan for a few days. And Mu Bai returned to Tony's villa ahead of schedule. The reason why I didn't bring Tony back. Mu Bai has plans of his own. It's time for me to experience what it's like to be a billionaire. After speaking, Mu Bai turned into Tony. System, has the company finished it for me? It has been processed, and you have become the chairman of the Superhero Copyright Company, which owns Thor, the Captain of the United States, Spider-Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye and all superhero copyrights. At the same time, the superhero toy factory has also been completed, with dolls, figures, and poster production lines. Black Deadpool dolls, posters, figures, etc. are currently on sale online. The first batch of revenue reached tens of millions of dollars. It's only been 10 million in one day. I believe I will surpass Tony to become the richest man soon. Double harvest of financial resources and rights. At the moment owns all superhero copyrights, and you will have countless wealth when the Avengers are established in the future. Beyond Tony is only a matter of time. Eye of the Future plus 10 by 2, current Eye of the Future, 420. Crit Flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 460, Violence in Violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current Meteorite, 1360. As for the assembly line, I arrange my duplication to take care of it. Not everyone can have a worker with supersonic unlimited physical strength. Employees are all over the sky, who is not rich? At present, MuBuy's wealth has reached hundreds of millions of dollars. Sitting on 2 companies with unlimited potential but not yet listed. The monthly salary bonus is as high as 100 million US dollars, excluding extra money. Because it also wiped out terrorists. Now there are thousands of hot weapons that have experienced the strengthening of the arsenal in the different dimension arsenal. Just take out a handful and it's not for sale. Like a submachine gun with infinite bullets. Gold body AK-47. Gatling who breathes fire. A sniper rifle with thermal vision that can penetrate tanks with one shot. Explode grenades that make people dance. A pistol that bends bullets. Just take out a handful and it will cost tens of millions of dollars. MuBuy can even resell weapons for strengthening to earn a high price difference. Although it is still a bit worse than Tony, but at the moment MuBuy plays Tony. Billionaire mansions and tens of millions of luxury sports cars are all their own. Trillions of assets and companies are also under the jurisdiction of MuBuy. Investment will be required later. You don't need to find anyone to act as Tony and pull investment directly. Well, brother is now a billionaire. Brother is very rich now, so rich that he can eat luxury KFC chicken. After all, MuBuy drove Tony's Lamborghini luxury car to the most prosperous street in the United States. Just 2 loud noises are enough to attract the attention of everyone on the street. When I saw that the person in the car was Tony, women on the side of the road rushed over to ask for a phone number. But MuBuy didn't even look at the street stall. Driving a Lamborghini is just to come out to eat the luxury family bucket of KFC. Put other things aside for now. I saw a KFC not far away. MuBuy slammed on the accelerator and rushed over. After stopping the Lamborghini, we went straight to KFC. KFC customers saw Tony appear. Everyone was dumbfounded. The scene is no less than seeing Pony the penguin eating wild chaos on the side of the road. After all, fast food such as KFC is something the poor eat in the United States. A billionaire coming here will inevitably surprise the jaws of the poor. Well, the cashier at the burger shop was also frightened by Tony's aura. Afraid of offending Tony, he bought all the KFC in a fit of anger and then targeted himself. Give me 5 luxury family barrels. 5 luxury family barrels. Is there a discount for buying 5 copies at once? Did you just ask if there is any discount? The cashier was beaten by MuBuy. The billionaire even asked for coupons for dinner. There are some, as long as you are a member, there are discounts. See, the cashier was stupefied. The manager hurried over and said, for Tony's visiting manager to personally receive. Then I will become a member and give me a discount. No problem, no problem. Although I don't know what Tony is doing. But as long as the member is a guest. After buying a complete barrel. MuBuy did not choose to eat in the restaurant. Instead choose to sit in a Lamborghini and eat. Fast food on a Lamborghini. It quickly attracted the attention of passers-by. Some people say that Tony is down to earth. Others said Tony might be broke. Or the brain is not very good. Or maybe it's just a Tony impersonator. For a while, the video of Tony eating KFC on the side of the road and asking for a discount became the 5th most searched video. The top 4 hot searches are all MuBuy. Becoming a billionaire is more than just eating fast food and driving a luxury car. Soon MuBuy contacted various women through Tony's mobile phone to hold parties on his yacht at night. These include stewardesses, models, stars, singers, internet celebrities and more. For a while, the news of Playboy Tony's release once again hit the headlines of entertainment magazines. This scene made Little Pepper slap his head. Experienced a night of beheading 100 people. In the morning, MuBuy was woken up by a phone call. It was Tony himself who called. When I saw the news, Tony was on the hot search again. While I was still in Afghanistan, I knew it must be MuBuy pretending to be himself to have fun. Hey, you're pretending to be me right now. I'm not pretending, I can be whoever I want. Well, I hope you just use my identity to pick up girls and don't do other things. Don't worry, brother, you have your own measure. Otherwise you think I, Tony, can run naked on Wall Street? It seems to reassure Tony, but it actually adds a little threat of streaking. Tony knows he can't stop you, he can only let you go. But I have to call you to remind you for the sake of image. Eye of the future plus 10 by 2, current eye of the future, 440. Crit flight plus 10 by 2, current flight, 480, violence in violence. Meteorite plus 10 by 2, current meteorite, 1380. I don't have anything else to do, I will die first, and my brother has set the record for the highest combo for you, these women will definitely love you to death. Since there was a big party at home last night. Now there are 4 hot girls lying beside her. Jarvis. What time is it? Backquote, sir, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Open the windows of the room and cancel the night mode. Yes sir, cancelled for you. The dark room instantly became brighter. The wardrobe automatically moves to the bedside. Mu Bai got up and pushed away the hot girl lying on his body and changed into a new outfit. And the sudden light caused the 4 hot girls on the bed to turn over one after another. After covering his head with a quilt, he continued to sleep soundly. Mu Bai didn't bother to care about them either. Picking up Lafayette on the bedside table, he walked out of the room slowly. Yo, Tony, our Stark Company lover, is awake. As soon as he walked into the living room, he heard Xiaojiali's cynicism. I thought Tony had changed. But the earthquake last night let Pepper know that Tony hasn't changed at all. Even more fun than before. Like someone who has never experienced the life of a local tyrant. Spend money lavishly. Spending on the yacht last night reached hundreds of millions of dollars. It's just that spending is far less than earning. A month of crazy spending. I made up for it in a day or two. Please call me Marvel's #1 affectionate. Mu Bai joked unmoved. Has Colonel Rhodes told you about Stan? Pepper suddenly changed the topic to work. She was used to Tony's private life. He definitely told me that this time I went out thanks to the Black Deadpool, otherwise I would definitely be captured by terrorists. You are lucky to have a friend like Black Deadpool. That's right. Meeting you in Black Deadpool is the luckiest thing in my life, Tony. Stop being sensational, it's your luck to know you Black Deadpool, and I'm just a dispensable employee. Chilly, I won't argue with you anymore. Brother is going to work now. After speaking, Mu Bai entered Tony's studio. With the help of duplication. In less than an hour, Mu Bai created a mark armor. It's time for my brother's second identity, Iron Man, to become famous.